Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the WAN show. I'm legitimately sorry that it's late, but you guys will understand soon why, and you'll be as excited as I am. That's all I can say about it. I can't say anything else. Actually, I can say lots of other things. I can tell you guys we've got a great show lined up for you today. The most epic tech bro breakup of all time has been unfolding in real time this week. It has been a sight to behold, regardless of whose side you're on. So we're going to get you guys some of the play-by-play, as well as just we'll laugh together. We'll laugh together. It's going to be grand. Also, in other news, the Switch 2 is here. And spoiler, I might have bought one.
Oh, he brought it with him too. Or wait, did you buy it there?
Well, yeah, I brought it with me. No. I brought this one with me from home.
Nice.
What else we got this week, Luke?
AMD is pulling an NVIDIA with the 9060 XT 8 gig, and YouTube was fighting Jeff Geerling. And
yeah, they really were.
That was whack, and we'll talk about it. There we go. Squarespace, Thorum, and AMD with our wrap partner D-Brand, laptop partner Dell, and chair partner Secret Lab.
I am 100% not on a Secret Lab chair this week. I wish I was. This is actually horrible.
This with my hand, I'm on two. So how about that?
And my crappy chair is the best part of my setup. My webcam's on a garbage bin. Just to get the height right and to make sure that when I'm typing, it's not wibble wobbling all over the place. So this is going to be a heck of a show, folks. Why don't we jump right into what is, of course, enthralling the entire internet, the big, beautiful breakup this week. The future of the EV, solar, and space industries is in question after the very public collapse of the bromance between, what do you call himself? Techno King Elon Musk and US President Donald Trump. On June 3rd, Elon called the congressional spending bill, known as the Big Beautiful Bill, an abomination. If you didn't know, by the way, the Big Beautiful Bill is not really a nickname. It's actually called the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. On June 5th, Trump said a good way to save money could be canceling Elon's government contracts. Elon fired back, tweeting that he could just decommission the SpaceX Dragon crew. In fact, he didn't say he could. He said he would, which would lead to the U.S. having to ask Russia for rides to the ISS. Okay, let's pause for a second here. What? Can you just... Is it possible that we are learning what the negative outcomes can be from having thin-skinned billionaires control massive parts of, like, national security critical infrastructure? Are we learning that now?
Yeah,
Did we
honestly,
learn it?
Legitimately, my most immediate and strongest feeling that I had when seeing this happening was, oh, this might actually be a really good thing for NASA. Their budgets are probably still getting slashed regardless, which kind of sucks, but we'll see. But hopefully this was kind of a learning moment of like, oh, wow, we probably shouldn't have something so critical almost entirely lean on one very specific external company, because Boeing and Blue Origin really ain't it right now.
I mean, in fairness, the idea was to have multiple options. Yeah. That's where Boeing was supposed to come in.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be great if there was multiple options, but I also don't think that, in my opinion, I don't think we should be at a state where NASA is incapable of doing the thing. We should just be at a state where it makes more economic sense for a what are they called? NGO, whatever, a corporation to do the thing instead.
Hey, look, I'm pro competition, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And sometimes competition can take place between private and public entities.
And there are wildly
kind of
incredible
competition.
things that SpaceX has done, which is great. So if they're winning like the majority of the contracts, that's fine. But we want
That's super
competition to be in the space. We don't want there to be a situation where it is actually the U.S. asking Russia for rides to the ISS again because there's a spat between a corporate entity and the president. That's crazy. We don't want this to be a thing. And it doesn't matter if it's Elon. It doesn't matter if it's Trump. That's irrelevant, to be completely honest. I don't want this to be able to be a thing ever.
No, the crazy part, Luke, is that we're not even talking about a spat between a corporate entity and the president.
Yeah, really, it's a
We
person.
are talking about a spat between an individual who holds this unbelievable, I would say unprecedented amount of control over the United States' ability to do space.
Yeah, and this is a super like nation level political issue right now because there's like sort of a Cold War space race type thing going on between the US and China right now. There's this like get back onto the moon thing that's going on. And it's interesting how that's going to be playing out. There's the potential drawback of Artemis, which, I'm really hoping it's not going to happen. Yeah, like Drac Ryu in Floatplane chat said, we still have the Artemis rockets. And it's like, yeah, but they're trying to pull that program back. This is my whole point. I think we should recognize this issue that is showing its face right now, even though a lot of people kind of knew it existed already, and go, oh, maybe we shouldn't be crushing the NASA budgets. If anything, maybe they should pump up a little bit. I do support the idea of looking at efficiencies there and making sure they're actually being properly efficient, because there is some question marks like why the heck can't we get back to the moon right now? That's awkward. But yeah, I think it's dangerous to put all of your chips in one corporation. And that's effectively how it is right now, and that's not good. Yeah. I'm hoping that all of this will result in very good things. Yeah, let's keep going.
Okay. Later on June the 5th, some random account told Elon to cool it. He listens and walks back the Dragon decommissioning, because obviously that was never happening anyway.
Yeah, he was going to do this. Yeah, anyway. Yeah.
That was insane. Tesla's stock took a dive from the kerfuffle, partially because the big, beautiful bill will make a number of things worse for EV makers and EV owners, including removing government incentives for EVs and solar and requiring new yearly payments from EV owners. I
didn't know the yearly payments part. What?
I am extremely confused by a lot of this. It's been sort of mind-blowing to watch this bromance develop when you have people whose agendas are so completely opposed to each other, and to watch the way that they have publicly pretended to be aligned, like that whole thing where they shot a Tesla commercial on the in front of the White House. I think it was
weird.
I think it was CNN got a picture of Trump's Tesla. It's just like still parked there.
I mean, he wouldn't be driving it anyways. Like,
he apparently actually bought it and it's just still there. I don't know that he actually paid for it. I would have no way of knowing whether that actual transaction took place or not, but apparently the car is just still sitting there, which is hilarious. Anyway, in the past, Elon has actually supported removing all government incentives for EV and solar, but also for oil and gas. But the big, beautiful bill keeps oil and gas incentives in place, which Elon sees as unfair. But I mean, I think the question here is twofold. I think I've made my position very clear on, whether I think Elon has shown who he is at this point or not. He's shown who he is to me, and when people show you who they are, you should believe them. I believe him.
He showed you who he is.
But this much I think makes very clear how opportunistic this whole relationship was. How obviously driven by an agenda of deregulation for his own companies the whole thing was. The second that kind of fell apart. Obviously, two egos the size of these guys were going to result in this kind of a blow up. It happened faster and more explosively than I could have possibly anticipated. And I think the icing on the cake for me is not actually in our notes, but Elon posted the reason that the administration won't release the Epstein files is because Trump is in them. Have a nice day, DJT, something along those lines. And it's like, so
you're cool with him this whole time.
So you think you're the good guy because you literally spent hundreds of millions of dollars to get this guy elected. And then after the fact, you're like, yeah. And like, I knew that he was in the Epstein logs. Also, I thought everyone knew that for like ages. Like,
I think we've all known that the whole time.
Haven't we known that forever?
Yeah.
Like, what do you?
I guess maybe he's saying that he's in parts that we haven't seen. I don't know.
Well, I mean, they're like.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm going to get the details wrong. But when the whole thing was going down with Jeffrey Epstein and Maxine Maxwell, whatever her name was, Ghislaine Maxwell, when that whole thing was going down, like Trump didn't even denounce Epstein right out of the gate. Like the whole thing's been so obvious and ridiculous. Anyway, silver lining, Tesla's offering 0% financing on Cybertrucks if you buy it with full self-driving, which amounts to about I think a $2,000 discount, because you have to spend money on full self-driving, which Lord only knows if Tesla is ever going to deliver at this point. It was really interesting
watching.
Why is it silver
lining?
No, Riley's just memeing, I think.
Okay.
I think Riley did this topic.
All right.
Yeah, it's been interesting watching Elon slowly admit the things that I've been saying for years at this point. The current hardware is not going to work. They're going to have to like upgrade like millions of cars if people ultimately demand to have the thing that they were promised. That is, if they can ever deliver it with all cameras, which I personally do not think they will. Good luck, everybody. Yeah. And this goes to show why having a bunch of like rich dudes running everything is probably not the way. I feel for my American friends, though. I got to be honest with you.
Panda Shoot said Tesla is already using autopilot to deliver cars to buyers in Texas. That's neat. That's cool, but it's not everything.
It's super cool, but what it isn't is level 4 or 5 autonomy. It isn't that. It's cool, but it isn't level 4 or 5 autonomy. And what we've known about Tesla's culture for many, many years now is that they are a culture of opacity. They are not a culture of transparency. They redact all the details of the incidents that autopilot and full self-driving vehicles are involved in. They don't respond to inquiries from media. They don't respect others' right to have knowledge and information about the beta testing that they're performing on public roads, putting people's lives at risk. These are things that we've known for a very, very, very long time. And when somebody breaks my trust, I don't trust them anymore. Like, you can't just keep breaking my trust over and over again and saying, yeah, but I'm not going to show you, but it's like, it's working really good, but I'm not going to show you how it's working really good, but trust me, it's really good. It's going to be ready. It's going to be ready next year this time. Like, how, literally, right? That's what fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me means. If somebody shows you who they are, believe them. All right. So, yeah, anyway, well, sorry, what I was going to say is I feel for my American friends because I don't feel like they had a lot of great options this last election. And, I really am rooting for you guys. I saw Walmart increase the price of bananas corresponding to the tariffs. And like, there's this hilarious exchange where someone was challenging Lipke or whatever on, like, hey, yeah, tariffs are affecting pricing. And he's like, yeah, but, like, if things are made in America, then it's fine. And they're like, yo, you can't grow bananas in America. Like,
I think the best part was he said, you should build it in America. And they were like, you can't build bananas in America.
Yeah.
Just the wording was great.
Oh, man. Nicholas Cage says we don't choose our candidates. Yeah, 100%. And look, I'm not going to get into, the whole thing that happened with Kamala, right? Because that whole thing was just such an epic failure on the Democratic Party's side, just the way it played out. I don't think anyone got a chance to figure out if she was a decent candidate or not. She campaigned for like 6 weeks. So, yeah, man, we feel for you guys for what it's worth. Yeah, Deseju says, tech please, didn't come here for politics. You're 100% right. It's just that, man, are they ever affecting tech a lot right now?
Yeah.
Like, I had a really interesting conversation with someone today. Can't say who it is because I'm on a bit of a trip right now. That's a bit of a secret. But I had a really interesting conversation with someone today, and they were talking about a product that was unrelated to what I'm doing. So, and totally unrelated to what I'm doing, totally unrelated everything. But I was just chatting with somebody about a product that they were working on. Development was done. They were ready to deliver it to market. It was going to come in at a really aggressive price point. And then they looked at it. They did all the math for what it was going to look like with import tariffs. And basically, it completely killed it for the US. So we can say all day, like, oh, yeah, we don't want to talk about politics. We don't want to care about politics right now. But they are having a huge impact on the affordability of technology, which which I believe is the biggest problem that we have in tech right now. We have cool tech. It's getting out of reach.
Yeah.
And none of this stuff is helping.
I think this is a good transition to said Switch 2 because I bought one.
Me too.
I got it. It's very weird that I got it because
I was going to say, I thought you weren't buying one.
No,
what's going on?
I wasn't buying one until I got it from Willow. But it's weird that I got it from Willow already because I didn't contact them very early about a pre-order. And I technically only actually reserved Mario Kart World. I didn't actually reserve the Switch because when I called them, they were like, we don't know when we're getting the consoles. So they called me about we have Mario Kart World. And I was like, cool, I'm actually going to wait until you guys also have a console. And they were like, cool, yeah, we'll let you know. And then like a couple hours later, they were like, somebody just canceled. We have a console for you.
No
Meaning
way.
There was no line.
Yeah.
And I understand this could be seen as a success because, they actually made enough, which is great. But I talked
Nintendo said they would. They said that's what they were going to do. They were like, we are pumping these. We are making some consoles here, ladies and gentlemen.
Which is awesome. Except
that's our anti-scalping strategy. Except yes.
I talked to the owner of Willow while I was there picking it up. And I asked them, I was like, what has demand been like? And she was like, yeah, a lot lower than we expected. Like a lot lower. And she was talking about it's for everything. Like not a ton of the games are flying off the shelf either. The accessory sales are a little bit lower than expected. So like someone might come in and buy the cheaper because you want a game Mario Kart Switch bundle thing, but then they're not buying a Pro controller with it or the wheel add-on thingy for the new Pro controllers or whatever else. And it's really expensive. The economy is in complete shambles right now, just worldwide. So like people are not only are they don't necessarily have a lot of money, but there's also an incredible amount of economic uncertainty. So you might not want to buy.
I was going to say the shambles is not even the entire story of the problem right now.
Yeah.
It's the uncertainty.
So
like you were chatting with a guy who runs some factories. Let's not get any more specific than that.
Sure.
Who basically was I have multi-million, like many millions dollars investments that I was making, in the lead up to COVID, around COVID, after COVID, and then during the first big red tie administration and afterward, and right now I'm just holding pattern. No investment, no plan, no idea, because when things change on a weekly basis,
you can't make decisions.
Plan. You don't build a factory in a span of weeks or months. It takes years. And so when you're planning that far out and things are changing so fast, it's devastating to your ability to execute, to get anything done. And to your point about the economy being really terrifying right now, dude, I sent this to the executive chat, so I know you've already seen it. But Coachella apparently failed to sell out for the second year in a row, which, okay, whatever, right? Like sometimes a concert doesn't sell out. I get it. I mean, I've never been to Coachella. It's not really my jam. I don't really care. So I'm not saying like everyone should go to Coachella or anything like that. That's not my pitch. What I'm saying is that is an unusual occurrence. And the kicker, this is the part that really blew my mind. Of the people that went, apparently about half of them financed their tickets, which there's a lot to unpack there, right? So one, people like need to finance concert tickets or something. And two, people are making the financial decision to finance concert tickets. Yeah,
because people need it. Coachella tickets are like, I've never got either, but I've heard they're incredibly expensive. And even if it's not Coachella, like concerts around here can be really expensive. Like I can understand someone needing to finance it if they must buy it. But I think traditionally, usually people just don't do that. They don't make that decision. So I feel like the big shift is that people are doing it now. I don't know, man. I think that a lot of people have given up on just being completely underwater debt-wise because there doesn't feel like there's another route out. As far as my understanding goes, people are looking at future prospects. And this is why stuff like, also regulation on stuff like advertising and whatnot has dramatically changed. But you see a massive increase in betting, not just in standard betting, but you've got like crypto Bitcoin betting, and you've got, I did press the thing. I know you can't hear it. You've got that, you've got sports betting, you've got all this stuff that's taking off right now, even though like logically. Don't forget about gaming going pure gambling. Yeah, true. Logically, you should be able to look at gambling and be like, yeah, this is obviously for so many reasons just kind of dumb. But then people are doing it because while it might not be the most intelligent, there is technically a chance. And if you can make your money go boom, it's the only shot you got. So people are taking that and thinking that it's like a logical decision. I will bet my entire future on this thing because if I don't, I fail anyways.
What future is there anyway?
Yeah, and like, oh my God, we don't want that society. We do not want to be in that situation. That is so bad. Anyways.
You know what? I just want to say we're going to promote the store today. Like we're going to promote our new items or our promos or, whatever. But we have made the very conscious decision to not have buy now, pay later functionality on our shop.
It would increase sales.
And while we absolutely do obviously support, credit cards through our store, I would implore you that if you're in a position where you're not buying with a credit card just because you like getting points and you're going to pay it off right away, like that's fine. But if you're buying with a credit card because you can't afford that LTTStore purchase, then I would really prefer that you simply not make the purchase right now. Get above water, get things together, keep your head up, and find little things that you can enjoy. Find a free to play game to play. Find something else to get that hit right. Man, it's stressful, right? Because obviously, like I'm saying this coming from a position of things have been a little soft on the store. Like we are seeing it, and it's not just the tariff impact, right? From the pricing being different, because a lot of our prices we've actually managed to bring pretty close to what they were pre-adjustment and pre the split between the global and the US store. So we're seeing firsthand. It's really interesting running a media company that also has these other branches, you know?
Yeah. People are bringing up that I didn't even know you could do this, but apparently you can buy now, pay later through PayPal.
Seriously?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I actually didn't know that was a thing either. I've never really used PayPal heavily.
PayPal.
Here in North America, and I know this is like a really foreign concept to some of our overseas community, but here in North America, the play is generally to use credit cards that have very generous rewards programs and then pay them off right away.
Yeah.
That's like the hack. And so other than forgetting a couple of times in my life since I was 16 and I got my first credit card, I have always only spent what I have in my bank balance, and then I have paid it off right away. And with that, I've been able to get cash back, travel rewards, extended warranties on electronics that I've purchased. Like there's all kinds of really cool benefits that you can get, but it takes strict discipline. And I totally understand why a lot of people make the choice to not use a credit card and so to use, something like PayPal instead. But I had no idea that PayPal actually supported buy now, pay later. PayPal pushes pay in 4 to 6 months, no interest on purchases over $100.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Pay in
I'm checking out the chat.
And apparently, someone said, I think Apple Pay also does it or something. I lost the message, but I wouldn't be surprised if Apple and Google Pay do it. This is rough too, because if we kill PayPal, people will be pissed.
Oh no, there's no way we can.
And not even because of the pay in for a monthly thing. It's because, like you said, in some countries, it's like. And not only in some countries, for some people, it's just the only way they pay for stuff. Yeah. And I don't mean the financing part of it. I mean the rest of it. So you can't even fully get away from it. Yikes.
I mean, we could take a principled stance and we could, remove it from our store or whatever. But the reality of it is that we'd be hurting ourselves a lot more than we'd be hurting PayPal. And
we'd be hurting specifically customers that were using PayPal without that.
Yes. So I don't think that is, I don't think that's a realistic outcome here.
Someone said Walmart's physical checkout has Klarna microloans built in. I know some delivery food apps have it apparently.
Yeah. I saw some of the memes about how when you can pay for a taco with financing, that's how we know we've reached the end times.
It's over, man. That's also
I mean, hilariously,
just please don't do that.
Just to give you some idea of how destructive it could be to the customer experience to nuke PayPal. There were some high-profile YouTubers who publicly, threatened legal action against PayPal that, in spite of that, very much still accepted PayPal for their merch store. So it's not really viable because the customer demands it, and not just demands it, but in many cases relies on it.
Yeah.
So, that is such a great reference, Drac Ryu. I wish I could. Dude, how cool would it be if we had the ability to give people points in Floatplane chat? They could use it for a discount on their next thing or something, on their next store purchase or something. I don't know. That's a cool feature idea, but we don't do Linus-led development anymore. Anyway, Drac Ryu says, I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a cheeseburger today. That is, what a reference. What a reference, man. I love it.
That's pretty good.
I would love to give you a point or something. I don't even think we have gifted subs yet. Maybe someday.
No.
Maybe someday. Anyway, let's talk about the Switch 2. So,
yes.
Luke, you were going to say something in the pre-show, and I was like, content, but I don't remember what you said.
Oh, I was saying when the announcement first happened, we were talking about it on WAN, I talked about how I thought it was kind of boring. And I still feel that way. I haven't even opened the box yet, to be clear.
I don't even agree at all.
I think it's boring. Look at the history of Nintendo consoles, man. It's boring.
Well, hold on. Everybody back up for a second. What it is, though, is what it tries to be. It's what it
really
is.
good at being boring.
Well, hold on. Okay, by that logic, let's say that NVIDIA released a GPU tomorrow that instead of costing $300, cost $450 and had 4x, 5x the performance. Would that be boring?
But that's not what we're talking
I'd be
about, because
psyched.
it's been a decade.
But it doesn't matter. The point is that what we had, what we had was this. What we have now is this times 4.
Yeah, which is what other consoles do, which is boring.
Sure.
It's not what Nintendo has historically largely done with almost every generation. For a Nintendo console, this is boring. It's cool. I bought one. I'm excited about it. I'm happy to go home and take it out of the box. I'm happy about the product. I still think it's boring.
But you're coming at this from the perspective of someone who hasn't even turned it on yet.
I'm coming at this from the perspective of someone who has historically looked at Nintendo consoles as almost every single launch as a really exciting experience to see what interesting, curious, driven engineers have brought to the table in terms of changing how gaming is done. And what I'm seeing is a console that's faster, a dock that is better, and cartridges that don't even have the damn games on them.
And that's all fair. But let me tell you, I spent the 15 Canadian dollars on the enhanced version of Breath in the Wild.
Yeah, and I'm going to. I'm stoked.
And in terms of, because look, I mean, I don't think I expect gaming hardware to excite me anymore. What I expect to excite me is gaming. And maybe what I'm doing is I'm channeling a little bit of, what David and Plouffe were talking about from the art challenge, where they were like, okay, does it, with them, they were talking about like pixel peeping, do I actually need better performance? And in this case, the better performance is not just about, pixel peeping a little bit and having like slightly smoother frame rate or whatever. It's about changing the way that I can experience the game. And for something like Breath of the Wild, where aiming, when you're dropping down into frame rates in the low 20s sometimes, where you're getting these stutters, where your display is, on the OLED, it's beautiful. I would personally take the OLED display over the HDR non-OLED display on the Switch too. But especially, I played through Breath of the Wild on the original Switch. And if you had told me at that time that I could have a new Switch that's just basically everything that was good about the Switch and innovative about the Switch, but fixed. It just fixed all my problems. That would change the gameplay experience enough for me to be really excited.
I feel like old Nintendo would have
it.
called this a Pro or something. Or a
you feel
Plus.
like who would have?
Old Nintendo. Like if you look at some of the DS versions they had, where it was like 3DS plus new colorful edition, whatever, I feel like they would have iterated, because I don't see a ton of, even with the GameCube, it's okay, it was small and they put a handle on it. They tried something. And with this one, it's just I don't know. It's they did the thing with the dock that they obviously should have done the first time.
Yeah. Make it higher performance, you mean?
Yeah. Put a fan on it. Just come on. It really wouldn't have taken a lot.
Okay, but tell me this. Okay, a couple of the recent times, relatively recent, okay, I'm old, a couple times that Nintendo has taken big risks and done something really different. Okay, so your GameCube example, the Wii U, they got pounded into the dirt commercially for doing that. Would I blame them at all?
I don't think.
But that's not your argument. Your argument is not that it's not smart. Your argument is that it's not exciting.
Yeah, I think it's decently smart.
I find this kickstand pretty exciting. This is going to change the usability of this device for me. You know what? I'm excited by the fact that they included MicroSD Express. I saw someone commenting on my unboxing video, why would Linus think it's positive for Nintendo to include this standard that no one really supports it? Because they're forward thinking.
Yeah, that doesn't
You
matter.
don't need the MicroSD card today. You need it when it's time to expand the storage, and MicroSD Express is going to be sick. And by taking it mainstream, dude, looking at what happened to the pricing of high capacity MicroSD cards once the once the Switch supported them, it was awesome because it went mainstream. We hit volume production. It was great. So Nintendo helping to drive like industry standard memory card form factors like MicroSD Express. I love it. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm not going to apologize for that. This is great.
Yeah, I wonder, like, at the same time, I think, like, and I don't even know if this is true, and I don't want to, you know, I can needlessly pump the boys, but like, does the Killswitch just have that kickstand? Yeah, and
yes.
Didn't the original Killswitch?
It just passes through.
Oh, it just passes through.
Yeah, it just passes this kickstand through because this kickstand is really nice.
What kickstand did the original Killswitch have?
The original Killswitch or the original Switch?
Killswitch. I know what the original Switch
I can't remember. I think it did have it had that weird magnetic
It had its
thing,
own kickstand.
and then it became a clip or something. Remember? There was like an engineering issue with it, and they had to change how it worked on the back. Someone in chat will probably let us know.
I see a thing.
But yeah.
It has its own kickstand. So like that was, I do agree with you that it's better. I really like the new kickstand, but
yeah,
it's not that you couldn't solve that previously.
To be clear,
and I do think I understand Wii U was rough. I think the actual Wii U was great. Genuinely, I think that was purely a marketing failure, in my opinion. So that's a tough one.
And to be clear, there are things that I'm really not happy about. You know, I am not stoked that, you know, voice chat is going to be like, I'm not stoked at the way that Nintendo is paywalling more and more and more of the functionality of their console behind Nintendo Online. I've talked in the past about how on principle, I refuse to subscribe to Nintendo Online because they don't allow you to back up your save games to the microSD card.
Time.
That is
obvious functionality.
That is just obviously Nintendo holding hostage your ability to keep your games safe, which on a portable device is particularly offensive. I'm frustrated because even though obviously, like, I want to acknowledge my privilege here for a second. I can afford Nintendo Online.
Yeah.
For sure. No problem.
Maybe a couple of them.
But I shouldn't have to have basic functionality like that, so I won't. And the more and more that they lock behind it, the more degraded and like a second-class citizen I'm going to feel like with this thing I paid $450 for. So
yeah, it's expensive.
So I'm not happy about that. Apparently the Joy-Con teardown was not good. And it looks like, we don't know for sure because we have no way of knowing for sure until it actually happens, but it looks like stick drift is just gonna continue to be a problem. And I think I have either 4 or 6 Joy-Cons in my house. I forget. I think we had 6 at one point. I think we're down to 4 now. I think it's 4. Of the 4 Joy-Cons that I took on my last trip though, so those 4, 3 of them have severe stick drift and 1 of them has moderate stick drift. And our consoles are not even super heavily used. It's bad. It's not a matter of if it'll fail. It's a matter of when it'll fail, which is really frustrating.
This is like breaking, so it's fine that it wasn't in the topic, to be clear, just in case anyone's reviewing this. But in Floatplane chat, people are talking, and they linked me to a Tom's Hardware article that, for you, Mr. Linus, I linked in the bottom of the Nintendo Switch 2 topic.
Oh, thanks, bub.
But I'm going to share my screen now. Hackers discover Nintendo Switch 2 exploit 1 day after launch. Minor hack allows running custom code on top of OS.
No way.
Boom.
Already?
That's crazy, man.
That
Apparently they
is
got it to run
unbelievable.
a like frame buffer check already. I saw that somewhere else. That's probably the Reddit thread that people were linking. I'm gonna not share my screen before I click on the Reddit the Reddit link that people are posting. Oh no! All
right,
that was something.
There's
else.
a lot more for us to talk through here.
Yeah, let's get to it. But either way,
the Joy-Cons being
at least partially jailbroken already, which is wild. But yeah, keep going.
In addition to the Joy-Cons being potentially susceptible to failure. iFixit gave it a 3 out of 10 repairability score. The OG was 4 out of 10. In part, this is due to a ton of stickers that have to be destroyed to access the screws, the battery being glued in, and the USB ports and game cartridge slot being soldered to the main board. Joy-Cons are apparently even harder to fix as well.
How did they get it so early? Dang.
Yeah, so that was one of our discussion questions is, what is your take on Nintendo opting to not send out review units? Does that communicate that they felt they had something to hide, or does it communicate a deep level of confidence in this product? I could see it both ways, man.
I could absolutely see it both ways. I don't think Nintendo much likes the media. I could put it that way.
I mean, I could see why they don't like me much.
yeah, that makes sense. It's not like they didn't give it to any media. They were just obviously extremely selective about who they gave it to.
Curiously, like I saw some choices that were like non-gamers, and I'm like, sure.
Nintendo wants to be lifestyle, even though it's gaming.
Yeah, that's always been a weird one to me.
Yeah,
it's like, here's an alarm clock.
Yeah.
By the way, this alarm clock will mean nothing to you, and you won't care about it at all unless you are 100% a gamer.
Yeah.
Jeff JK says, quit whinging and y'all will get one. Oh, dude, it has nothing to do with whining and everything to do with not many people getting one and Nintendo's choices being baffling, and B, to do with the fact that we openly talk about emulation. Like, let's be real here.
Yeah. And
it's
criticize.
Nintendo's one of those companies that's very much like Apple. That the way that they work is they engage with media that align with their vision. And Nintendo surprisingly does engage with us to a limited degree. From time to time, they'll answer an email. I believe we got a review unit of the Switch Lite. Actually, in fact, we might have even gotten a review unit of the Switch back in the day. So they do engage with us from time to time. They're not just radio silent like Apple, but I suspect that there are folks at Nintendo who would just kind of rather not talk to us or acknowledge us, and I get that. I
know. I've been harping on how it's boring. I'm just sitting here trying to think of like I know they did kind of the Joy-Cons with the Wii, and then they expanded upon it with the Wii U, and they had the Joy-Con Plus or expansion pack or whatever it was called, and then now we have the little Switch Joy-Cons, and now we have the newer Switch 2 Joy-Cons or whatever. It would have been kind of cool to see them go back pretty far and go to like a glove or something, like a haptic glove would have been sick. Or something. I know they're they want to be lifestyle. They want to get people outside. If they embraced this, Niantic just sold itself to some terrifying company. But I have loved this concept where like I'll play Pokemon Go for hours and no one will have any idea because I'll be walking around a park or something and I've got my little dongle thing in my pocket and it's just buzzing away catching Pokemon and I'm walking hands-free playing a game without looking at a screen. It would be cool if they tried to get people outside or something, but while still playing their games. Like I think there's opportunities that they could have taken and they just went, nah, it's faster.
We don't know that they won't do stuff, though. I mean, I don't think anyone saw the cardboard kits coming with the original Switch.
That's very true. The Labo, yeah, that's interesting.
Come on, don't count them out. That's on quirky ideas. Like, it's still Nintendo, and it's the Switch, but it's like way better on it. And like, dude, I haven't played much Mario Kart World yet because they made me go shoot other stuff. Okay. I shouldn't say they made me go shoot other stuff when I was doing my short circuit unboxing. Was that yesterday? Good Lord. Yeah, yesterday. Yesterday morning, I was shooting the unboxing and I got to one level, one track that has like a wave racer section where you're like on Sea-Doos. Really? And dude, it's like freaking awesome. So like I haven't gotten to play much because I finished that shoot. And then I went straight to one on upgrading the storage of non-upgradable Macs. We had a guest come in. Really excited for you guys to see that video. I actually got to upgrade the storage on a non-upgradable, like soldered motherboard Mac myself with tools that we have in our shop. So I thought that was pretty sick. And then I had to go home and pack. And then I've been busy all day. So I haven't, and now I'm doing my show. So I haven't really gotten a chance to play, but the little bit that I've played, dude, the controls feel so good. The bigger joysticks are more than welcome. The bigger face buttons are great. The screen is great. And when you compare the size, the thickness, the weight, the general chunk of this device to PC handhelds that have a similar size of screen or similar class of screen, when I first saw leaked images of the Switch 2, I was like, oh my God, it's too big. It's ridiculous. Forget it. It's basically a handheld PC. They've completely lost track of what it means to build a handheld console. Like the Nintendo of the DS Lite days would look at this and cry for shame. But now that it's in my hand, I really like it. We have some more discussion questions about the Switch. One of them is, what is your prediction for lifetime sales of the Switch 2? And related, will it end up being, to your point, more of a Switch Pro with the OG continuing to sell well alongside its successor? Like, is this going to be a PS2 where Nintendo just can't discontinue that damn first-gen Switch? And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments as well.
I would actually say yes, because the price delta between the two is so enormous. That there are going to be many people that just can't afford it. And it'll be much more affordable and still a cool experience, despite it being so old, to have an original Switch. So it'll be what it is. I don't know.
Jax raises a really important point around this launch. Not going to give them any of my money if they threaten to brick my property because they somehow happen to learn I emulate or whatever. Stop giving them coverage is my suggestion. So the first bit, yeah, that's a really good point. Nintendo's changed to their terms of service, allowing them to remotely brick property that you paid for. Unacceptable.
Absolutely.
What we need, though, is legislation making that illegal. Because companies are just going to keep pushing the envelope on this, and I don't think that Nintendo is unique in that regard. As for your suggestion that I just stop covering things, it's not really an option. There were a lot of suggestions, actually, on the unboxing of the Switch, like more than just a couple, that we just shouldn't be covering it. And I don't really know how to address that because...
It's happening with the NVIDIA stuff, too.
I don't really... Because it's like, what should I cover today, then? You know, it's like actually my job
anymore.
And it's not just my job, right? Like it's all the people who work here. It's our job to cover this stuff and to do the best job that we can. And at the same time, to highlight the things that are not great about these releases and do our job as members of the media to educate people on what's good about things and what's bad about them. So to me, it almost feels like, it's like when you ask the ethical person that works at a government agency who resigns because they were asked to do something that was not okay. It's like being happy when they resign, knowing that ultimately they're going to be replaced by someone who just does whatever.
Who won't fight against those problems.
Like if I'm sitting here, working with you guys and wanting to hear from you guys, hey, what are the things that are obstacles for you? Like I've been reading the comments on that video extremely thoroughly, making sure that when we do our review on LTT, that we are addressing these concerns and helping to make people broadly aware of them, right? Like that's our job. I think that, giving that kind of feedback to someone who is, to a group, right? Like we're a team over here, to a team that is trying to take your feedback that we can take, right? The feedback of, how do we cover this in a way that addresses the community's concerns, right? Giving feedback like you should just not cover it, I think it's really self-destructive, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is the same thing as some members of the audience trying to shout for every single conclusion of every single review from every single creator to be exactly identical. It's like, it's not even what you want. Kitty makes a good point. You say that it's unacceptable, then you accept it by buying more Nintendo products. You can't influence Nintendo other than with your wallet. And you know what? That's a really good point. That's a super good point. And I acknowledge that straight up, head on, in my first leak summary video of the Switch 2. I don't like a lot of this stuff.
I really want to play Nintendo games. I'm human. And what I want is better long-term solutions because, again, I don't think Nintendo is unique in bending customers over, and I don't think that anything is going to get any better without legislation. But you're right. You're right to call that out.
John Deere is completely trashing farmers, and we all still buy food.
I don't think that gaming is comparable to food, but I also don't think that your example is as ridiculous as it might seem on the surface because, well, sort of. Like, I do think that happiness is essential, and I do think that a lot of people derive happiness from gaming. I think the audience that I'm talking to can probably relate to that pretty decently, you know?
I like Nintendo products because of the demographic within my life that I get to play them with. And that is not necessarily true for like almost any other type of gaming that I do. We've had discussions on me and Nintendo going back like pretty much the history of WAN show, where I've talked about like, I speak pretty big about most things, but Nintendo is just like, unfortunately, this annoying company that I will just keep buying their stuff, which sucks because there's just, again, there's that demographic in my life of people that I can play Nintendo games with that don't really want to play anything else. And I'm not giving up on those people in my life because they're important to me. So
That's a Nice Hat asks, someone help me out here. What's the concern right now? The concern is that Nintendo's terms of service changed recently, giving them theoretically the right to brick your console remotely if you do something on it that they don't like alter it. We've got some more discussion questions. Are you mad that there's no OLED at launch?
It's just an upcharging idea for later. So I can eventually drop the price of this current one and release an OLED version at this price or higher. That's my theory.
So here's the thing. We know that the OLED would cost more, right? Because an OLED panel will cost more. People are already outraged at the price. What would you have had them do? Would you have had them release two consoles side by side, one at $450, one at $500 or $550, with maybe more storage and an OLED panel? Would that have made people more mad, less mad? Legitimately, I want to know what people would have had Nintendo do here. People are saying bad take, but I'm not giving you a take. I'm asking a question. What would you have had them do? It is a fact. It is a simple fact that an OLED panel costs more than an LCD panel at the same size, especially if it's a brand new form factor. And this is, I'm not aware of any other device that is using an OLED that is this size and aspect ratio. So it would be, they would have to do tooling for a new display. What would you have them do, given that people are already outraged about the price?
Rightfully so.
T. Lewis says, didn't Valve do that for the Steam Deck? Wasn't there base model IPS and a higher end model with more storage and was OLED? Yes, later. Steam Deck OLED didn't exist out of the gate. It came later. Not because Valve was just trying to bilk people and squeeze more money out of them with an OLED upgrade later, but because it took a little while for the technology to catch up and for them to be able to integrate the OLED panel. And they came at it with I think a pretty reasonable upcharge. And we weren't mad about that. So I just want to know what's different here. What do you think, Luke?
I think people are just going to be mad regardless. I think if they weren't bricking people's switches that tried to mod them, I think people would be mad. I think if it was more affordable and they were bricking people's switches that modded them, people would be mad. I think the only way that people wouldn't be mad with this launch is if it was significantly cheaper and they weren't doing the brick your console if you try to utilize hardware that you purchased in a way that you want, which is like obviously BS.
And the game cart thing is a big
I forgot about the game cart thing. That's also
the game cart
ridiculous.
thing is a big one. And the price of the games. I don't want to spoil too much, but I will tell you guys the premise of the video. One of the other videos we shot this week was me giving my son his birthday present. See, he had his birthday a while back, and he's not a super materialistic kind of guy. And so, but one thing that I know he likes is he likes his Nintendo Switch. And so I said, okay, son, happy birthday. I got you a Switch too. And he's like, oh, where is it? I'm like, well, it's not out yet. What do you think? I'm magic? I'll give it to you when it comes out. And so for a video concept / just an interesting exercise, because I was really curious to get just, an average gamer's perspective on it. I brought him into the studio, and the intro of the video goes, happy birthday, son. Here's your Switch 2, is what I would say if I wasn't worried that you're making the greatest mistake of your young life. You haven't even seen what else is out there yet. Why would you just settle for the first thing? Actually, I didn't do that. Like, why would you settle for the first thing you meet? Angle, that's really funny. I should have done that for the intro. Anyway, the point is I kind of pull the Switch 2 away and I go, wait a second. You haven't tried anything else yet. And so we got a whole roster of other handheld gaming devices. Ally, Ally X, Legion Go, Ioneo 3, MSI Claw. I'm sure I'm missing something, but and then also we had the Switch 2 in there. And basically, I made him a deal. I said, you can have your Switch 2 for your birthday, or you can try all these other ones. And if there's anyone that you like better, you can have that instead. And I'm not going to tell you guys what the conclusion is.
Classic.
But what I will say is that because I kind of trickled out the information about each thing. Oh yeah, PS Portal was one of them, because he was like stoked on the PS Portal. But then I was like, okay, there's a catch. See that PlayStation over there? Like, that's what it's running off of. And if you're too far away from your PlayStation, it doesn't work too good. He's like, oh, okay, because I was willing to offer a PlayStation 5 plus a Portal. Because realistically, it's not even that far off the pricing if I like pick them up secondhand or whatever, right? So anyway, I wouldn't say the funniest moment, because there's one toward the end that's like really good. But one of the funniest moments was when I kind of sprung on him, okay, but here's the thing about the Switch 2. While the pricing might actually be cheaper than some of these like PC handhelds, the games are really expensive. Like, I'm talking over $100. To be clear, I'm talking Canadian dollars, which they are. They're over $100 for AAA games. And he goes, he responds, he goes, for each game?
Especially a kid who's probably used to like Steam pricing.
100%. Dude, he was completely taken aback by it.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
You mean for each game? Like, he couldn't. It's one of those things that you can't act. He just was mind blown by it. Like, what?
Yeah, Nintendo games really don't fall in price much.
No, they don't. It's wild, dude. It's wild. But no, he's 100% right. Like, that's a major issue with this platform, is like Nintendo is trying to eat their cake and have it too here, where they've been upfront that they're trying to make money on the consoles, which fair enough, but they're also charging so much for the games that I feel like it'd be pretty nice if that game was subsidizing the price of the hardware a little bit,
Yeah, it's kind of rough.
All right. I feel like I've said everything I have to say about the OLED version. Okay, our last discussion topic here for the Switch 2 is, what are you most excited to play?
I am very curious about Mario Kart World. I have intentionally not looked into it very much. It's the only game I have currently. I didn't buy anything else for it.
Well, technically, you have all your old games too.
Yeah.
The upgrade packs are 15 Canadian, which I don't love, but I don't hate. I think it's somewhat reasonable.
Yeah.
I do hate, by the way, this is wild. Your old carts are still locked at 30 FPS. So aside from not getting the HDR or any enhancements or whatever, they run at a solid 30 FPS. But it still is frame rate locked at 30 FPS. That's ridiculous. If I had more powerful hardware, it should just run at more FPS. Anyway, carry on.
Based computer guy take. I think Mario Kart World. I don't want to know too much about it. If you like played it and you enjoyed it, like that's cool. But I don't want to know way too much about it. It sounds really weird to me, and I'm interested to experience the weirdness. See how it goes.
Cool. Yeah. So anyway, guys, we're gonna have lots of coverage of the Switch 2 coming up. We're gonna have the review on LTT. We're gonna have that shopping video with my son. It's gonna be great, and hopefully, it has a very long life. And who knows, maybe comes down in price at some point along the way. Gets an OLED variant, and
here's a question I have for you, actually.
Yeah.
Would you have bought a Switch 2 for yourself if you weren't planning on playing games with like Little Man or others? If it was purely just for you.
Well, hold on. By just for me, what if it wasn't for me and my kids? What if it was for me and like entertaining? Because there's no better machine for hooking up to the Rec Room TV when we host a party than a Switch.
Yeah.
And for that, I mean, what a, frame rate, image quality, enthusiast I am. I like to have a really great gaming experience. And so to me, the new Switch is Nintendo's asking for $450 from me for the first time in 8 years. Assuming I didn't buy an OLED, right? Which I did, but like they're not actually asking for a console worth of money from me that often. And so, yeah, it would just be part of my setup for when I have friends over, like play Mario Party or whatever.
Okay, and that is, in my opinion, the correct way to answer that question. But I want to move the goalpost and ask again: what if it was just for you, no entertaining, just for you?
That'd be tough. I thought I was going to play Tears of the Kingdom. I bought it, and then I got like 15 minutes into it, and I was like, okay, yeah, I didn't buy the Breath of the Wild expansion, and I don't need this Breath of the Wild expansion either. I know there's the building mechanics and all that, but it felt too similar to me. What I loved about Breath of the Wild was that it was so different. And, and maybe I'm making your same argument about, where I'm trying to say the Switch 2 is exciting and you're saying it's iterative, and I'm kind of making the same argument because people are going to be like, yeah, I played Tears of the Kingdom. It was so different. There was so much that was different about it. How can you possibly say it was iterative? It's emotional. It's gaming. It's not objective. It's not FPS and frame times. It's gaming. I haven't gotten into a Mario Kart since Mario Kart DS. I don't think that if it wasn't a launch title for a console that I ultimately decided to buy, anyway, I don't think I would have just gone out of my way to get into a Mario Kart again, because Mario Kart DS, it was a very different stage of my life. I was taking public transit a lot, and I just had like downtime, I don't even think, like DS Lite would have been what I had. So I don't even think I had a smartphone yet. Like that was kind of what I did when I had idle time. So I don't think I would pick that up again. I'm going to totally dodge your question again. I would buy it again, but I would buy it for the same reason that I bought this one, to try it. And then if I don't end up caring about it, put it in the lounge at Smash Champs. So what I've decided is I'm either going to keep this and put my Switch OLED in the lounge at Smash Champs, or I'm going to decide I just don't care that much and I'm not going to use it, and I'll borrow my son's if I really need it, and I will put this in Smash Champs and then either sell the Switch OLED or hold on to it or put it in the theater or something. If it was just to game, just handheld, I probably wouldn't bother, because I have so many games that look really appealing to me in my backlog that I haven't had a chance to finish, that I just don't see the need to buy hardware to finish them.
This is the answer I was looking for, because I think
because you want to talk about a game you finished?
No, because ultimately, I think we kind of bought it for similar reasons.
Right.
And it was not necessarily just us. It was the social ecosystem that this brand very unfortunately seems to be able to bring together sometimes. Like I know it wasn't, they advertised as if it was going to be, and then I don't think it was quite as much, but like Wii parties were a thing.
Oh yeah, dude, 100%.
Switch parties, I don't know.
By the way, guys, I have spoiled nothing because I'm talking about the rationale for purchasing it.
What? Yeah. What did they think you were talking about?
Well, that I spoiled my son's choice.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Because I made the decision before he even came in to shoot the video.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, sorry, carry on.
I think that's just people misunderstanding. But yeah, it's a thing. It's a bringer together of people.
Yep. And nobody else does local gaming the way that Nintendo does. With that said, there's a lot more on Steam these days than there used to be. Like I'm finally playing Unravel 2. Yvonne and I are almost done, and it's great. It's fun. It's not, super challenging. Like if you're an old school gamer or whatever, it's very much like It Takes Two for me. Beautiful environments, less fun gimmicks. Like It Takes Two had a lot of different gameplay mechanics that Unravel 2 doesn't really. But it's like beautiful environments, and you just hang out and you just play a game and you just enjoy each other's company and chill on the couch. You don't have to like think super hard a lot of the time. And that is getting better on the PC side, but I don't think anything is quite Mario Party. Yeah.
Even though Mario Party kind of sucks now. it still works somehow. Anyway.
I thought the latest one fixed the unskippable nonsense that I had with the one that I bought. I'm not actually sure.
I didn't even know there's been one since then. So
yeah, there has. That one that you and I played together for a little bit, or like tried to play together, but it was like unusable because of how impossible it was to skip anything. That was, and what killed me about it was how fixable it was.
Oh yeah.
Like, ew.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're getting screamed at by Dan Besser to explain and do 2 merch messages.
How dare you?
Oh, sorry about that.
I have said no words in over an hour.
He did the extremely loud action of putting the little thing on the corner of the TV. I'm massively mischaracterizing his actions right now, but it's funny to me, so I think that's okay.
You know what?
Okay.
I respect that.
Do you want to do them this time?
Sure.
I just got to get something related to the thing that I was doing today to people who are working on the thing I was doing today.
Sure. Merch messages are a thing. You can get them by going to LTTStore, finding a product that you're interested in, like, oh my goodness, tall pants.
Whoa.
What? That's crazy. Adding those to cart, and then going and looking at your cart, and then in here you can see the big bonus bin banner. Or sorry, actually, that's cool too. You should do that as well, but that's not what I'm talking about. The merch messages banner, and click this checkbox that says you want your message to appear on the stream, and then you can decide if you want it to be anonymous or show your first and last name, and then type some content like, hi, Dan, a smiley face, and then pick whatever style you want it to be in, like swamp. And then when you check out, it'll go to Dan, and then Dan can either respond to you directly with the tippy tappies at his on his desk, and then you'll see it in the bottom of the screen over there, or he will curate it for Linus and I, and sometimes himself, to respond to through the vocal cords later on in the stream. That's how merch messages work, and now we're going to do 2 of them.
Well, you're going to do one, and then you're going to...
We're going to do one of them, and then we're going to do some other stuff.
We're going to follow instructions for a change, Luke. We're going to follow the bloody instructions. That's what we're going to do.
No!
I don't like this. Can we not do that?
Yeah, we should do it slightly wrong.
Yeah. Let's read 1.5 merch messages and then move on. Hello, LLD. I will protect Breadsaurus at all costs. Luke, as a single developer working on an app, how should I go about security? Been looking at Firebase authentication. Tips or tricks? Don't.
We don't need to know your relationship status.
There are. You can get someone else to roll your auth for you. I don't remember the names of them, but there's some services that you can just get that'll do it. It depends. Like, are you pre-revenue? Do you have money backing you?
Pre-revenue. I like that term. I remember when I was pre-revenue.
Pre-revenue, pre-idea,
I think
pre-team.
that would have been such a hack thing to call it, when I was talking to Yvonne about it.
This is a startup thing.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I haven't heard it before. That's great.
Are you pre-revenue? Are you pre-investment? Are you pre-team? Are you pre-idea? Pre-idea is my favorite one.
Pre-competency.
We have a fantastic team. We poach them all from, they're all like ex-Googlers, ex-Microsoft, whatever. We're currently pre-revenue, pre-idea, but we're gathering funds. It's great. It's great. But yeah, you could get a subscribed auth. So just like pay somebody else to handle your auth for you. I don't know how much it costs, and I don't know example companies because we've never done it, but I know it's a thing.
Someone else should do it, basically.
Yeah, maybe. If your idea is really good and you want to get it to market, things move really fast these days. You might not want to make it yourself. When we first started Floatplane, the amount of things we had to make ourselves was crazy. If we were remaking all of Floatplane right now, we would not have to do as much of it ourselves. I'll say that much. Yeah. Anyways.
All right. I've got another half a merch message. Hey, tips from tech. Building up for the new hoodie. Any possibilities for a crossbody bag or strap? How about some announcements?
Wait, what did I just? Sorry, hold on. What did I just hear? I was following up that thing. I'm done now. What?
We're breaking the rules.
We're breaking up the merch messages. So you'll get the second half after you've done the announcements.
Nice.
Sorry, what did I hear about a crossbody bag?
You got to do the announcements. You get to.
We got to do the announcements. Announcing the Breadsaurus hoodie. This hoodie that Linus is wearing right now.
Did you get yours?
Yes.
I forgot to put mine on.
Maybe you should put it on. I'll read it. You put it on.
Okay.
This hoodie is so fucking cool. It's so cool, okay? It features a new printing technique for us with an embossed Breadsaurus that is subtle. I don't know that it's that subtle, but it's adorable, making it easier to pair with other clothes and show off how cultured you are. It also has a great tactile feel to it, so it's like raised. Can you guys see the Breadsaurus? It's so cute. Like most of our other hoodies, it has a secure pocket for your phone or earbuds to make them less likely to fall out. And also has custom baby version of our Chonk draw cord with LTT stamped metal tips. It is super comfy, super soft on the inside, and you look amazing. You both look amazing.
Thank you.
Don't lie to me in public.
Dude, they nailed the color on this one. They did such a good job. The team just crushed this product.
Yeah, it's very, very comfortable.
Yeah, it's
the
really
baby
comfy.
versions of the whatever these are called again, drawstring tips, are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we made our own draw cords for, I think, the Super Soft, and so we called them the Chonks. And because they're metal at the end and they're like a nice thick weave. So these are like that, but they're baby ones. They're small. So they're still metal, but they're not like ridiculously huge.
Yeah.
So they're baby chunks.
Yeah, it's very comfortable. The embossed logo thing is really cool.
Get yours at lmg.gg/breadsaurus.
Yes.
Panda asks, is this a permanent product or limited time? Who knows with us?
Ultimately,
and it's not because we're trying to be mean or anything, but a lot of the time, the first order, we're testing the waters. If it doesn't sell at all, guess what? It's limited edition. If it sells really well, guess what? We're going to reorder it. We're still, in the grand scheme of things, a really small company. There are things about us that are kind of on the bigger side. Like, we sell a lot of screwdrivers. Screwdriver has been an absolute smash hit for us. But on the clothing, like the apparel side, we're still a pretty small company, and we run up against challenges where minimum order quantities are just like not doable for us very regularly. That's a thing. So we're going to do our best with it. And if we can, bring in more of them, we'd love to. But if you really want one, yeah, but if you're in a position where you can afford it right now, I wouldn't say don't buy it. Someone asks, why no restock of the firewall shirt? Because that was limited edition. That was a print to order where we only made as many as people ordered. So that's how many we're selling of that. It was to celebrate our April Fool's joke. It wouldn't make sense on the store forever. I would say this is on the heavier side for hoodies. Would you agree with that, Luke? Versus like a super light hoodie?
This is a warm hoodie. Yeah.
It's a warm one.
So
It's not,
comfy,
to be
though.
fair, I am a warm boy and I'm sitting here and I'm fine. It's not, you're not going to like absolutely roast, but it's a
this
warm
isn't
hoodie.
bad.
This
Medium.
would be nice in like the fall.
Or evening outside fire
Yeah.
summer. This is a great
a
summer
good
fireside. Yeah, this is really
100%.
really nice.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Well,
Do you want to do another one, or do you want the rest of that merch message?
Weekend Mukum.
Another
Excuse
one?
me.
Weekend Mukum. MCM.
Okay.
Oh,
You want merch? Could you-
Sure.
Another merch? No, I'm doing.
you're doing it out of order, Luke. Way to go, Luke.
Well, I think they're cheating because I don't think they're supposed to get 2 announcements. So maybe it's not out of order.
You're in charge, Luke.
Yeah, weekend MCM deal. Also, this weekend, save when you buy 2 individual MCM components. 2 for $24.99 USD on the US site, and 2 individual MCM components. 2 for $24.99 USD on the US site, and 2 for $34.99 CAD on the global site. This includes arches, power bar keys, power brick holders, and cable tie holders.
Oh, that's really aggressive.
Shop MCM.
Oh, wait, no. Okay, no, it's not as aggressive as I thought it was. Okay. Wait, what? Oh, no, that's really aggressive.
I'm getting...
2 for $24.99? Click through and it'll be clear.
Oh.
You should probably screen share. Just an
Yeah.
idea.
So it's
He's new to
not-
this. This
it's
is his
not
first LAN
really.
show.
It's not really individual components.
Oh, it's a BOGO.
It's packs,
Basically. It's a buy one, get one cheap.
but it's buy a pack
Yeah.
and get one cheap.
Yes.
This was worded.
Yeah.
Not good.
Be nice.
Yeah,
These are your colleagues you're talking about.
that's true.
Okay, cool.
It's because it said individual MCM components, but it's
Yeah.
individual packs. So, anyways, shop MCM at lmg.gg/MCM BOGO BOGO. Let's go.
Okay, cool. Did you show them the site and show them how to like add the things?
I will do
okay,
that
he's new.
again.
In the meantime, Dan, do you want to hit me with a merch message?
Sure. Hey, tips from tech. Building up a new hoodie. Any possibilities for a cross-body bag or strap for tech sack, maybe, would be useful for my future activities when the computer
This is the
too
thing you
big.
read before.
I read half of it, yeah. No, he wasn't
Okay,
asking
hold on.
for a strap. Yeah, it was a strap for a tech sack.
I'm tethered here. So I'm not sure how far away I can get.
There we go.
Oh, no, I could unplug.
More like binus.
What is he doing?
I don't know anymore, man. Screaming?
Okay. I don't actually know if I'm supposed to be leaking this.
Artie? Artie?
I think I might have talked to Nick about it,
I can kill the feed if
but
you
I
want.
can't remember.
Already, I saw where you
definitely
typed. You
talked
can
to Nick
type
about
down.
leaking
I can kill it if you need.
something.
What is it?
What's that?
Well, I don't. I want Artie to know what it is. What is that?
It's a crossbody bag.
Oh, cool. Oh, it's like a little one. Nice. Is this like tech sack,
so-
but you can wear it around?
No, I
How
wouldn't
is the
say that. I
size
wouldn't say
compared
that.
to tech sack?
So
Artie,
here's the Switch.
Artie is very angry.
Oh, is he?
Crossbody bag.
Oh, he's typing. He's typing.
All caps, screaming.
Oh, okay. Should I not show it anymore?
Well, why would you show it in the first place?
Oh, he thinks it's fine. Yeah.
He said, "I warned you, dog. You did. Sad face. I told you about stairs. What are you people even talking about? I told you about stairs. What does that even mean?"
It's a sweet bro intelligence.
Oh, he's not
reference.
angry.
No, he's not
Okay.
angry.
Well,
Just
anyway,
surprised. He's not
okay,
angry.
so
He's just disappointed.
I told
here's
you,
how the
dog.
Switch 2 goes in. We have like a screen safe flap here.
Oh, so it's got to be bigger then, yeah?
So then there's it's bigger than the tech sack, I think. There's another screen safe pocket here, so it's the other side of the same screen safe one. See, like that. So you could put like a phone in there or like
handheld in your
a
phone.
really small tablet. And then over here, you've got, these are TBD, but a couple like elastic kind of things. So you could put a thing in there, maybe a charger, whatever. I think this zipper pocket might go because you'd probably just use the exterior one if you wanted to use that volume, right? This will probably change to like webbing over here. So this is pretty early, but the goal, we were targeting Switch 2.
Don't like say things will probably change, because then what if they don't?
They will. Yeah. No, because I had my meeting about this already.
Okay.
This is pretty far away. Like we're still, this is still very much subject to change. So we were targeting Switch 2, but we also wanted to be able to do Steam Deck. So you can see it's a pretty tight fit.
But who knows? Because it's subject to change.
Yeah, it's the idea is like a gaming handheld crossbody is what we're kind of targeting here. Yeah, it fits LAX as well.
Nice.
What other handhelds do I have with me? I have my Ally, but that's about the same size. If it fits the LAX, it'll fit the Ally.
I guess I can't really ask because it's subject to change. But I was going to say, what's the branding like on it? Is it the square that's on the tech stack, or is it something else?
No, it's the little tiny. Hold on, let me just see if I get my preview up here. Oh man, I don't even know if you're going to be able to see it. It looks pretty like
sleek and stealthy.
There you go.
Oh yeah,
it's
perfect. It's those.
The little
those are sharp.
black on black from the commuter.
Yeah,
that's the only branding that we have on it right now.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, dude. Every time I see a complaint about like our branding being too garish, I'm just like, nah.
No.
I actually cannot take you seriously as a human being.
No one
anymore.
outside of our audience knows about the store because there's like no branding on anything.
Yeah.
It's not too garish.
We've cost ourselves probably a lot of sales by having such subtle branding over the years.
Yeah, because we're trying to be cool, man. Because I think it looks great.
Yeah. Yeti Wrangler asks, any chance of an LTT camera bag in the future? I got to be honest with you guys. A lot of it's a space I don't personally understand really well, and it's one that we definitely do have thoughts on as a team, but I have a hard time imagining what the identity of our camera bag would be that is substantially different from what others are doing really well in the space. We really try to find areas where we don't feel someone else is already doing an outstanding job, because if they are, then we should just buy their product. I'm not saying we'll never make products that are just about sort of enriching the portfolio and broadening it and making sure that, we have a solution for every customer, but it's not really our... We have such limited resources right now. We really want to focus on the things where we can really do something different.
Yeah.
And then we got
Of course, it will be big enough to fit the charger mind paradox. That's our whole jam, is making sure there's room to actually put chargers in our bags for the devices you're carrying.
Is the official Switch 2 charger less annoying than the Switch 1?
It's detachable. So I consider that a plus, both
That's
from
a
like a
plus.
right to repair / like serviceability standpoint, as well as just a usability standpoint. I like being able to take it's powering my setup right now, so I can't show it to you now, but I like being able to take my sick coming soon LTTStore.com, chonky LTT long USB-C cable and use that for my Switch if I'm, sitting in bed in the hotel and the plug is far away or whatever, right? Like I like having that flexibility for sure.
Will it be able to hold an Ohio or Virginia class submarine?
That's a good question. Oh,
good. Finally.
That's a promise.
As long as you 3D print it small enough. As long as you 3D print it small enough, then it'll hold it just fine.
Always the asterisk.
Got him.
That's how they get them.
And Floatplane?
Yeah. Wait, no. We have to do another merch message. We have to do the second half of that merch message.
You just did. That was that. I read them both together because I'm in control.
Wow. Fascinating.
For the first time.
What even is this WAN show today?
What is any WAN show ever?
Yeah, they're all like
That's
this.
fair.
Floatplane announcement. Smash Champs is finally open, and we have an exclusive video of what happened during the launch day. Everything from setup, mini games, not being able to cut the ribbon itself, to what high-level badminton actually
that was
looks
cringe. Dude, if you're okay, no, you gotta bring this up. Bring this up on the screen share.
Right.
Bring this up on the screen share. If your entire bloody job is to rent out novelty-sized scissors, okay, those have one purpose. To cut ribbons at grand opening ceremonies.
Whoa, they're huge.
So if your novelty scissors, okay, find the clip. It's probably toward like the back half. It'll be pretty obvious. Before that. Keep going. Keep going. There we go. Okay. This is a fiasco. So it's me and the mayor of Surrey and Yvonne. Okay, we're trying to cut the ribbon. Look at this. Look at this. Pathetic.
I think it goes further back than that too. Oh, it goes a lot further. Oh, you're just standing there. Never mind.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Just anyway, we're very happy to be working more closely with the city of Surrey and trying to get stuff done. I feel like we are very close to getting everything rounded out for Whalelands in the future. I don't want to. Here, I got to find some wood to knock on because things can be challenging. Yeah. But for everyone who was trashing on me when I was talking about the fire code nonsense, I was right, by the way. So thank you for not believing that I know anything about a building project that I've been.
Sorry, what were you right
involved in for years. I was right that the issue with the egress distances was misinterpreted by whoever was looking at it, and that none of it mattered because people were really upset that I was questioning fire egress standards. I wasn't. I was questioning improper interpretation of them. I'm not just a completely uneducated scrub coming into this. This is not my first rodeo.
I don't know if that's how you worded it at the time.
Yeah.
What did I say exactly? I don't remember what I said. I said it was BS.
It
was BS and it was stupid.
I don't know if you said, I think the interpretation is BS, though.
It doesn't matter. It was wrong.
All right.
People didn't ask, who was opposing it. They didn't ask what the actual issues were. They knew nothing about the project. They just assumed that I didn't know what I was talking about. But 100% did, and I was 100% right. So that's resolved now. And we will be able to have proper security at our lands, which was really important to me. And we will be able to have totally proper egress in the event of an emergency. Everything's fine. So I'm really happy that ultimately got resolved with the engineer.
Yeah.
I don't have my button, man. I don't have my button. Don't think I don't see you. Don't think I don't see you.
What do we do now?
Yeah, dude, it's been such a nightmare. I mean, we were talking about this after our trip to Taipei. Just like, I don't think that necessarily places of business should just have. Alex showed me this hilarious picture of this restaurant that just had a couple of like panel style breakers just like mounted to the wall and just like wires going into them and then just like going off somewhere. Like, I don't think that that's necessarily how I would want our electrical code to work here. But I do think that we have reached a level of control and a level of regulation that makes it ridiculous to try to get anything done.
There's lots of examples of this, yeah.
If approvals were fast and if there was like a common sense application or an application of common sense in dealing with these problems, and it was speedy, like I think it would be fine. But man, we've got a lot to figure out. And I think there's got to be a middle ground somewhere. I was talking to the mayor, and her new kind of slogan is Surrey's open for business, and she's open to feedback about this stuff. And I definitely have feedback about what we can do to make it easier for businesses to operate. Like I've been, one of my favorite stories that I've been telling people lately is that because we don't have two sinks, we are not allowed to even do so much as like microwave a Hot Pocket and hand it to you. And it's like, yo, oh my God, who cares?
But I also don't want to, yeah, it's weird. It's a push-pull because like obviously that's ridiculous, but then screwing with food safety.
You can't have any random, you can't have any random just serving food.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's like, oh man. But then, yeah, we should be able to just like have a microwave. I don't know. It's a sports facility. People could bring, like, it's almost like a potential cost savings for people. I don't know. Like it's,
Gerald says probably food prep sink versus dirty sink. And you're 100% right. Except I don't need a sink to make a Hot Pocket. So like,
yeah.
I also don't need to wash any dishes. I can just hand it to you on a paper plate and you can throw it away. Like that's the whole thing is like there's, yeah, I know. Crystal says expecting common sense in regulations is an exercise in futility. I know. I like getting stuff done. You know, I like doing things. I like doing cool stuff, and I like moving forward. I like finding solutions. And as long as everybody's working in good faith to move forward and find solutions,
it's usually fine.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy. You know, because I get it. There's sometimes, you know, stuff is challenging. I get it. But when we're not working forward in good faith, when we're not trying to find solutions, that's when I kind of lose it. Like I don't know how to deal with that.
Yeah, I'm going to steal a comment from Binky in Floatplane chat, but I do agree with you. We should drop all regulation. The children yearn for the mines. We should let them go back.
Finally, someone said it.
Start getting that coal. They're tired. They're tired of their Switch 2s.
Hey, it's clean for Santa to bring it.
These boring new video games. Okay,
they've got $20 before. Now they've got like $3 or $4.
And it is clean coal, so you know we're good.
Of course.
Cars?
You'd never have not clean coal. The children yearn for the clean coal. Should we talk about
quote of the century? I want that on a shirt.
Should we talk about AMD pulling in NVIDIA with the 9060 XT?
Sure.
Talk about something else? Yeah, cool. The 9060 XT is out, and AMD has copied NVIDIA's idea to continue selling an 8GB version of the 60 class card. It's got RDNA 4, 2048 cores. It has 128 TMU, 16 gigs of GDDR6 VRAM on 128-bit bus, or 8 gigs on 128-bit bus. The $300 for the 8GB version, or it's $350 for the 16GB version. The 16GB
Never mind
card,
that the difference in price is like a few bucks between 8 and 16 gigs of RAM these days.
The craziest point to me.
Just make the good one.
Yeah, like,
yep.
Oh man,
so much, dude. This is like a huge part of why we even build some of the products that we do on LTTStore. Because the other options, honestly, are like fine, or they could have been fine if they just spent another like 73 cents. Like the difference in cost between making the cheap, crappy one and making the good one is so small sometimes. It drives me bananas. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, no, big time though, seriously. And like really like going through the work of having multiple SKUs and multiple marketing and everything for this, like really, I don't know.
Well, the margin is way better on that 8 gig crappy one. Yeah. Because the difference in cost is like a few bucks, and the difference in actually, no, that doesn't even make any sense. No, the margin's way better on the other one. So why do they even bought? I get it. Okay, we're making it more accessible at a lower price point to gamers who can't afford $350, and that's a justification. But like, oh my God, this is like what's that? The famous thing with the boots, the rich man and the boots, and the poor man, boots, rich, poor,
rich
something,
guy,
something.
Boots theory. Boots theory. Yeah.
Boots theory of socioeconomic unfairness. They are selling poor people crappy boots that break down, and I hate it.
Crappy boots that break down because you can't play games that would fill the frame. Sure, okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because it's not going to last as long.
Cards, yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, it's not future proof. Whereas the rich gamer can afford the more future proof card, and they don't have to upgrade as soon. This is totally Boots theory.
Yeah.
I feel like you're giving me a hard time about this, but I don't understand why. This is Dan, back me up here.
I think it's just like
like if you really stretch it, yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
because you're only saving $50. That's the thing. Is you're not even saving that much for the amount of time less that you're going to get out of it.
$50 is quite a bit.
It's quite a bit for some markets. To
Yes.
some markets.
Okay. Yes, but
We've
it's
had
relative.
this debate before, haven't we? Yeah.
$50 is 1/7 of the price of this product.
And that's where
So-
you get into Boots theory, is because maybe
And that's
they
where you
don't-
get into Boots theory.
Yeah.
Because if the one that costs $50 more can last, for being a seventh more expensive or a sixth more expensive, if it can last 30% or 40% longer, then that's the better value. And that's why the person who can afford more today ultimately gets screwed over less. That's Boots theory.
I think the reason why the Boots theory thing starts to break down for me.
I get it.
What is he going to say? Because he probably knows.
No, I was going to say I get it. The Boots theory breaks down. Because that's the whole Boots theory, is that they break down.
Promoting.
I don't even want to, like, I genuinely don't want to explain it anymore. Not because, like, oh, he cut me off or anything, but just because that was actually, like, so good that I feel like we should just move on. That was actually great. And I'm just okay with it. And we should move on.
Linus wins WAN show again.
That was actually fantastic.
Well, I
Okay.
had to win something today. I think I'm losing something else based on Luke's secret topic, but why don't we get through this one first?
You were also late as well.
Yeah. See, maybe you lost twice.
Taking
today
those
already.
L's.
That's why they call me El Sebastian.
Oh. No bell for you that time.
It's actually because my name's Linus.
Oh my god! Despite reception and recent praise for AMD when it comes to gamers, or at least the vocal ones, apparently none of the other ones, they have lackluster. Yeah, exactly. They have lackluster graphics card market share, according to the Steam hardware survey. The first discrete AMD GPU to appear is the RX 6600, one spot below the RTX 4090. AMD claims that the
Yikes.
RX 9070 XT's week one sales beat previous gens by 10x, but a couple months later, it's still not even on the Steam hardware survey. NVIDIA is also claiming record gaming revenue, but it only accounts for 8.5% of their total revenue, as data center sales have just completely taken off. Oh.
We don't need to see the graph again. I've seen the graph enough.
Yeah, and Intel's we're not even talking about their inclusion, sadly. NVIDIA is also claiming record. Wait,
Yeah, you already
wrong
said that.
line. Discussion question. Will we ever see reasonably priced GPUs again? Here are the price categories from AnandTech's. Whose idea was this? Because this was brilliant. From AnandTech's 2008 GPU Holiday Buyer's Guide. Adjusting for inflation, $130 then would be $194 now. And $300 for the Stuntin category, which I'm going to share in a moment, would be $447 today. And then check out this screenshot.
This is wild. The People's
Wow.
Performers at $100 to $130, which would be under $200 today.
Let's
Ridiculous.
get ridiculous. 130 to 180. I remember trying to build a computer when I was probably like,
Yep.
I don't know, 14 or 15. And I remember having a conversation with a guy that I worked with, because I had jobs from when I was really young, about components. And he was like, all the important components. And what I think he meant was like, CPU, GPU,
Yep.
probably drive at that point in time. He was like, spend about $100.
Yep.
I'll never forget that conversation, because he wasn't even that far off. And that's just impossible now. But yeah, it caps out at, well, not really, because it says plus, but Stuntin is 300 plus, and it says single and multi GPU graphics solutions.
Yep. 2008, baby. What a time to be alive.
It was a good time.
Now
The
you
best of times.
literally cannot get anything that is branded gaming. So I'm talking RTX, whatever. Like you can get cards that are GT whatever, but you're not going to get the X on it. You're not going to get the like gaming class cards the way that they categorize them for less than what would have been Stuntin in 2008.
Do you know what the to the east side reference is?
I think, is East Side just more expensive in New York? Probably, I would assume. I'm just guessing.
In New York. Interesting. The Jeffersons, Great Gatsby.
Yeah, the Upper East Side is known for old money
The
glamour with higher
Jeffersons.
price tags.
Apparently, it's a reference to the Jeffersons.
Oh, all right, never mind then. Cool. Good chat.
Cool. But yeah, crazy screenshot. Really cool that whoever wrote this topic included that. I thought that was cool. Good idea.
Collapse this.
YouTube takes down Jeff Geerling's self-hosting video more than a year after it's released. And then I have a bit of a spoiler that apparently it's back now, which is good. Jeff Geerling's
But
concerns...
the way it came back, I'm not stoked
Uncomfortable,
on, honestly.
definitely.
Yeah. Let's get to this.
Jeff Geerling's concerns about YouTube in his 500th video special a couple months back were apparently prescient. Earlier this week, his video about rolling his own Apple TV alternative, published in May of 2024, was taken down by YouTube for promoting dangerous or harmful content.
If you guys remember, that's exactly the same justification that they provided for taking down our video where we showed how to ad block on YouTube.
Yeah, which is live on Floatplane.
Which is piracy.
In his video...
Oh no, I can hear Dan. He's upset.
No, he yelled correct.
No, I'm literally with you 100% on that, and we'll defend it to the death.
Yeah. You can
We'll
be
show you how to
okay
do
with
it.
it.
We'll show you how to do it.
You can decide that it's fine.
Yeah.
My God, back in my day, we thought pirates were cool. What's wrong with this generation? In the video, Jeff demonstrates using open source software, Kodi and Libra Elec, on a Raspberry Pi 5 for 4K playback of legally acquired content stored on his local NAS. Geerling appealed the community guideline strike on the grounds that A, it's been up for more than a year without an issue, B, it's had more than 1.6 million views, and C, the video doesn't promote or even mention copyright circumvention tools or techniques.
The first two are pretty weak.
Yeah.
That last one,
Pretty strong.
kind of a big deal. Yeah.
That appeal was rejected. In response, Jeff has posted about the situation on his blog and on X and potentially elsewhere, and has uploaded the video to his Floatplane account, let's go, X itself, and the Internet Archive, which was a bit of a gamer move. And he donated some money to the Internet Archive alongside that. This isn't in the notes, but I'm pretty sure that happened. Just to support them, which I thought was extremely based. Team YouTube has acknowledged Jeff's comments on X. It's such a terrible name, on Twitter, whatever, and a response from others on the platform to their response has been largely negative, which is good. Geerling speculated that there may be some word on a new internal ban list that has triggered the takedown, but notes that, in quotes, there's no transparency about the exact issue. YouTube reinstated the video at around 2:40 Pacific time today. Jeff speculates that he made enough noise to trigger a human review process, although I don't think that saved our video. Jeff has received a community guideline strike before on a video about jellyfin. That video had been on YouTube for over 2 years before being pulled for harmful, dangerous content. That video was also restored on appeal. I shouldn't have said also. This one wasn't restored on appeal, but that video was. Discussion question. How can YouTube create a more equitable content moderation system? They can't. Hot take.
Yeah.
I don't think they can.
I don't think they can. Nobody's gonna agree. And I don't think it's really a question of equitable here. I mean, it's YouTube's platform. Ultimately, there's no legal basis that we can use to force them to have any content on their platform that at their own discretion they choose to not have there. I mean, I said very much the same thing back when they nuked our video, even though I strongly disagree that my video was dangerous or harmful to anything other than Google's bottom line, which again, fair enough. That's I understand why they don't like it. I mean, honestly, most of my objection was like, you guys have my phone number. Why didn't you talk to me about this? Versus just like ripping it down and then telling me like later.
Common theme, eh? Anyways.
I mean, it's like I was saying earlier. Look, I'm all about finding solutions and working together to move forward in good faith. I am all about that. But, that to me was not them doing that. That to me was them just arbitrarily enforcing this. Because the thing is, we have tons of content on our channel about piracy, whether it's, media backup or whether it's game emulation or whatever else, things that I would classify as piracy. And the first time they've ever cared, we literally, once our 90-day probationary period was up, we uploaded a video on how to get Windows for free. They didn't care about any of that. They only cared when it impacted them. So it's like, whatever, you guys. This is not about policy to you. This is just about YouTube ads.
Yeah.
And again, fair enough. That is their right. That's their right.
Yeah. Doesn't mean I have to like it. What should we do? Speaking about not liking it, we have a topic in here that is titled Floatplane Limits Downloads.
How dare you?
How
dare you?
I'm going to read the comments on this and then I'll talk about it afterwards. A user posted on Reddit this week asking if Floatplane limits its downloads after they had a please wait 5 minutes pop up after downloading 2 shorter videos. The answer, yes. Floatplane has had a download limit for actually a really long time. There was some commenters being like, what? They changed this? And no, we've had a download limit for like a super long time. Elijah asked me about this, and I said to him that I think it was like the last 5 or so years, but honestly, I don't remember. But it's been a long time. This is not a recent change.
Do you want to talk through some of the technical reasons why we allow
totally
mass downloading, but not in this way?
I 100% will. I'm going to get through this first, but yeah, I want to talk about this more. When we have mentioned in the past that we are okay with mass downloading, it has always been, and we might not have vocally asterisked this at the time, but what we've been talking about is through kind of like tools, not you just sitting there and clicking download on every single video. We are expecting people that do mass downloading on the platform, and trust me, people do, to use a tool. There's a variety of community-made public tools. There's also some people that have gone through Plex and done it that way. But yeah, I will now talk about why. We are not an enormous company. Floatplane's actually a very small company, and the impact of someone just going through and clicking download on a trillion videos all at the same time is extremely high compared to someone just sitting and watching a video. Like the difference is enormous, not only because it's happening simultaneously, but also because download rates versus just watching a video, etc. You could, like, if we opened it up, you could effectively smash the platform. Now, it's not that we don't want you to be able to download a bunch of videos, just like, please don't just sit there and click download a million times. So again, use something like a Plex, and it doesn't have to be Plex. As far as my understanding goes, there are these scripts on a variety of Plex-like tools. And if you don't want any of that at all, there are some, again, community members that have made larger downloading scripts available for Floatplane. And please feel free. The point isn't that we don't want you downloading a bunch of videos. The point is that we don't want you crushing our service, because we are not. We are genuinely not like that huge. We can't just absorb you downloading all of our stuff. Well, we could. We can't absorb you and a whole bunch of other people doing it as well. Maybe we can someday, but not yet. But yeah, download to your heart's content. Just use something that will help us help you in kind of trickle downloading it over time. Your subscription is going to last for at least a month. If you set one of these things to our rate limit for at least a month, you can download a lot of videos. You can download a ton. Ask me how I know. People do it all the time. It's fine. It's totally fine. Yeah. Dan's done it.
I didn't know that we could have that bypassed for me, so I was doing it with the rate limit.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. It's a thing. Feature. There was that thread, man. Every once in a while, you people drive me nuts. That thread, there was somebody commenting about how, like, oh yeah, well, I wonder if I can find it. Let me search for my name, because I think I can find it that way.
Should I talk about the new
They are a
rules
lot
for-
more
oh,
data conscious in the last few months. Definitely not true. They implemented a quality switcher on the Floatplane streams. That we did a while ago. And Luke said something about that everyone always uses the highest instead of the one appropriate for their window size. I don't think we even have metrics on that. So I don't think I would have been able to say that. But if I did say that,
I mean, you might have said that at some point, but certainly you don't always say it. I can tell you that much for sure.
yeah, but we implemented the quality switcher because people were complaining that the auto tool that we had was setting it too high for them. we did it for the opposite reason. We did it so that people could turn it down because they wanted to, not because we wanted to do it for them. Yeah, I don't know. That definitely not to the we're a lot more data conscious in the last few months. Definitely not. Not only is this download limit rule like super old, but the Floatplane quality switcher thing was because people were annoyed that it was too high. So like, no, we're chilling. This is
And it's not about limiting the data overall. It's about limiting the momentary use.
Spikes. The spikes are the entire problem.
Yep.
Yeah, like we already have a like global time zone spike because we have more users in North America than elsewhere. Luckily, North America is pretty cheap to serve to, actually. The problematic zones are Germany because your ISPs just fight each other all the time, and Australia because internet in Australia is just a problem.
Got him. Don't forget about Antarctica. When we had that one person that was stationed at a camp there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Heck yeah. the one time. That was awesome.
Speaking of things that are pretty cool, new EU rules for smartphones and tablets. Smartphones and tablets that go on sale in the European Union on or after July 20th of this year will be subject to new requirements. Devices must be designed to resist accidental drops, scratches, and dust, and water ingress. Batteries must withstand at least 800 charge-discharge cycles while retaining 80% of their initial capacity. Producers must make critical spare parts available and provide repair information to professional repairers for 7 years after the end of sales for the product model. That part is super cool and super important. This should happen after the product is no longer on sale. And the reason for that is that you can say, hey, we're going to do 7 years of software for this. And that can be on day one. And then you could have that product live for 3 years. And then someone buying it at the 3-year mark is only getting 4 years of support. So they're basically saying, no. If you're going to say 7 years of software support, that means 7 years for everyone who buys it. Not for the first people who buy it. The regulations clearly lay out parts and information delivery timelines, what repair information must be provided, and includes provisions to ensure equitable access to qualified repairers. OS upgrades must be provided for at least 5 years from the end of placement on the market of the last unit of a product model. This is super cool. Why is the EU so based? I don't understand it, but they do it, and I'm into it.
I like it. Keep going. Also, I want to jump back to the Floatplane topic for a second. I saw discussion question at the bottom.
Is this what it's like when I'm responding to people's stupid comments? And
No, I saw the discussion question at the bottom. This isn't even user. Honestly, the Floatplane users are like, yeah, cool. I don't know. It's fine. Because again, none of this is new. Anyways, discussion question is, with the obvious vacation of Floatplane happening right now, how much of a raise can our shareholders expect? And the answer is immense amounts. We are saving so much off of the people downloading being now rate limited that we are increasing bonuses for Floatplane executives by at least 40%. The next line is, can you talk about what...
Do you get a Floatplane bonus? I don't think so.
No.
Cool.
Nice.
All right, 40% increase approved.
Yeah, that was so easy. Okay. Can you talk more about the challenges you have learned about data limits and bandwidth costs when developing Floatplane, even on simple things like quality control settings for live video? The quality control settings for live video, honestly, we don't know a ton about because we didn't care, and then people were annoyed because they wanted to change it themselves, so we made it so they can change it themselves, and we didn't remeasure. Live has been
a challenge.
Maybe a loss leader, maybe a neutral leader the whole time. We don't make money off of live. It's it takes.
I bet we could. I think we could argue that we do if we factor in merch messages. If we consider the ones directly attributed to WAN Show completely part of live, we could probably make the argument. I don't think they are,
merch messages have nothing to do with Floatplane.
Well, they don't they don't have nothing to do with Floatplane. Floatplane is certainly a mechanism by which we like execute on merch messages. Like it's a promotional mechanism for merch messages.
How?
Because some of those audience members that are paying for merch messages are watching on Floatplane. Like that's where we're going to them. They're bringing us that business. So it's like a promotional mechanism.
Okay.
Like I said, I told you it was a stretch.
Sure.
I'm just saying, if people are watching on Floatplane and they're buying a merch message, we could attribute some of that revenue to the fact that we were delivering the message to them live. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Nice. But yeah, the amount of development time that it's taken to support like the chat and the chat tools and the live player itself, because it has been very disproportionate to the value that it brings, I'll say.
All right. Fair enough.
But the talking about data limits and all that kind of stuff, and someone just shrank it. Hooray, let's go. It has been interesting. I do remember many a year back when we did originally decide to do the download thing, it's because there was a script. There was a script somebody had put up on GitHub, and they were sharing it on like Reddit and the forum and stuff like that, that just zerged the heck out of downloads.
I remember that.
And it was like actually severely impairing our ability to serve videos. Like it was a problem because a ton of people were just hammering the download service all at the same time. And they were doing it through, it was script kiddie rife, right? Like you didn't have to know what you were doing. You could just download this thing off GitHub and it would do it for you. So we were getting crushed because again, we're a relatively small company. So we had to start implementing limits. But if I remember correctly at that time, we reached out and we're basically like, yo, we're not mad. This is what we're setting our limits to. If you could just adjust the script for people so they can keep using it, but it just doesn't crush us, that would be awesome. And if I remember correctly, they just changed it so that it just sat right outside of our rate limiter. And then it's like, okay, cool. The people still have their tool. The site doesn't go down because of it. Sounds great. Yeah. So it's been interesting. Live data is really expensive. VOD data is wildly cheaper. Anyways, we can move on.
Get that good low latency.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about now?
Intel draws a line in the sand. That's right, a sand line. CEO of Intel Products, Michelle Johnson Holthaus, announced at the Bank of America's Global Tech Conference that Intel will only be approving new projects if they can earn at least 50% gross margin. Adding on that this is something we probably should have done before, while also clarifying that future operations, including Panther Lake and Nova Lake, are currently expected to reach a 50% gross profit number. The push comes from Intel's new CEO, Lip Bhutan, who is reportedly laser-focused on making this happen, including potentially canceling or changing unprofitable deals with other companies. Holthaus predicts a tug-of-war within Intel to get aligned on this mission. I don't like it. To innovate, sometimes you have to make low-margin products and make big investments, and I really need you guys to keep doing DGPUs. So that's what I have to say about that. Not cool.
Yeah.
Mind you, I don't need Intel losing money either. Like, that's also not constructive. But I think realistically, at a time when your sales overall are suffering, and your brand reputation is that your products are, at least on the consumer side, not a good value right now, at least on the CPU side. I think Battlemage is awesome. I think just like focusing on a margin target is just making me wish Gelsinger was back. So please don't stop making ARC GPUs. Please, please. That's all I have to say about that.
This smells a lot to me like the Intel that sat on its laurels for a decade and lost every lead it had. Which, like, if you want to keep doing that right now, I guess you can just die. So,
Well, I don't think they're just going to die because they made major investments into products that are turning out to actually be pretty sick. Like, without spoiling anything, the Claw got a long look, at least, when we were looking at that, when we were looking at all the handhelds with my son. Is the Claw 8 AI Plus or whatever available? I don't know if that's actually out yet. Hold on, here it is, Best Buy. Is this pre-order still? Oh no, people are buying it. Yep, it's available. It's really expensive, but it's good.
I wonder how the handheld market outside of the Steam Deck and Switch is doing.
I gotta say, I gotta think it's really small.
Yeah,
to be honest with you,
and there's a lot of players.
But like with that said, dude, remember when we did Whale Land? How many people had flipping Steam Decks,
but they were all
also
Steam
like
Decks.
ROG allies and stuff? No, there were a couple allies, more than a couple.
Are you talking
and
Whale Land?
Yeah,
like the test.
The test?
Or the
no,
one
no,
before?
no. Whale Land at LTX.
Oh,
Yeah, like the video was sponsored by ASUS, so I was acutely aware of like whether there was ASUS products that the ones we were showcasing, not because I wasn't going to showcase anything else, but because I figured I should at least throw them a bone here and there. And it wasn't hard. There were allies all over the place. I was very surprised.
interesting. Very interesting. I mean, I don't want Intel to die. I hope they do well. It's just,
Yeah.
I hearing this, it gets me concerned about stuff like their GPUs and like what an incredibly complicated market to try to get into with 2 generations.
Yep.
Like you got to give it a while. This is a market segment that leans a lot on trust and experience, and you really haven't been in the game that long. And your last gen was like not that purchasable. This new gen is purchasable, but has some asterisks on it. Like you're making fantastic progress.
And don't underestimate the funnel of getting people familiar with the product in their gaming rigs, and they tinker around with it a little bit, and maybe they learn a little bit of AI on their Intel GPU, and then they become
Intel purchasers.
Yeah, exactly.
You had them for years on the CPU side. It's worth fighting for it. But it's just stuff like this, it makes me concerned. That's all.
All right. Microsoft wants to save us from USB-C confusion. Beginning with Windows 11 24H2, PC makers will need to include a number of previously optional features, including DP Alt Mode, which allows you to output DisplayPort over your USB-C port, PCIe tunneling and Thunderbolt compatibility, which are basically the ability to run PCIe lanes through your USB-C port, and must use Windows' built-in USB driver stack in order to be compliant with the Windows Hardware Certification Program, WHCP. The changes are meant to ensure that USB 1, 2, and 3 peripherals will just work for data transfer, charging, and display on any USB-C port on certified Windows 11 devices. Systems supporting USB 40 gigabit per second must also be fully compatible with USB 4 and Thunderbolt 3 peripherals. Device makers can make use of Microsoft's MUT USB test tool and Windows Hardware Lab Kit to ensure their devices comply. These requirements, however, don't apply to desktop PCs at this time. Overall, this is a W. And our discussion question is, what does Microsoft gain by doing this?
I get it.
And I think they gain their computers not being super confusing. Apple computers have their confusion, like, oh, this one can support this many displays and this one can support not as many displays. Like, they definitely have their issues, but generally speaking, the hardware for the MacBook is way less confusing to buy than the hardware for a Windows laptop. And I think Microsoft is really starting to look at the share that they've lost to Apple over the years and go, okay, holy crap. No, whether it's partnerships with Qualcomm for ARM processors, or whether it's finding ways to reduce the friction of the Windows PC buying experience, we have got to deal with this.
Yeah, I mean, the Windows laptop ecosystem has always been kind of a mess. With a lot of just kind of junk in it. And I think this is a good move from Microsoft to try to clean up their space and make them look more serious and professional, to be honest, because USB has been kind of gross for a long time now. Like USB-C is just very annoying to deal with. And yeah, I think it's a good move, to be honest.
All right, our last topic before we get into After Dark is the Recall AI thumbnail. Yesterday we used
Linus, do you hear Dan?
No.
Oh, I thought he could hear you this whole time. We never did sponsors.
Oh, crap, we should do that.
Yeah.
The show was brought to you by Squarespace. Imagine this. You're perusing ye old interwebs and you run into a site that looks just as old as someone saying ye old interwebs, except unironically. Well, it could have been made with our sponsor Squarespace, that's for sure. With their modern looking blueprints, you get eye-catching templates to start with, then you can edit and customize them to your heart's content with their drag and drop code-free Fluid Engine system. And if you want to make a site that actually does something and is not just a virtual museum for pet pictures, Squarespace has you covered there too. For those using it for business purposes, it has support for the majority of popular payment options, and you can even invoice clients directly in their portal. Speaking of which, you can also keep track of performance and sales numbers with their powerful website and seller analytics. So head over to squarespace.com/WAN to get started on building your website today. You can even get 10% off just by using offer code WAN. The show is also brought to you by Thorum. We're headed into full-blown summer weather, and you know what that means? Weddings! Thorum's got that area covered with their super unique rings, which are great as wedding bands, or if you're a guest, something to just tie your outfit together. They use exotic materials like meteorite and World War II rifle stocks to add a bit more personality to some already BA-looking rings. Check out this one called the Voyager. Definitely giving Final Frontier vibes. Each ring comes with a silicone activity band, a walnut wood ring box, and, most importantly of all, a limited lifetime warranty. They even make watches with some of the same materials too, so your wrist won't feel left out. Head over to thorum.com today and use code WAN to get 20% off. We're going to have that linked down below. Can I help you, boys?
The other one normally has your face in there.
Yeah, the camera just went to your empty chair.
Nice.
This one has Sorry.
The show is also brought to you by AMD. Vance's AMD Ultimate Upgrade came out earlier this week. If you haven't seen it, it is worth checking out and getting subbed to Floatplane for some juicy extras. Highlights of the upgrade for me was definitely getting the broken 12-pin power connector out of his gaming rig. Seriously, it had a broken clip. It wasn't the latest one that has the biggest issues, but still. So we replaced that with a 9070 XT that has working clips on its classic not melting power connectors, just 8-pin PCIe power connectors. You love to see them.
My favorite part was Linus barista tips.
Oh, dude. Okay, I actually was pitching to Sammy that we should do this as a whole series on Floatplane. Person X does thing Y that they've never done. And try to find stuff that most people have done. Like Elijah learning to ride a bike, for instance. I just have never made coffee before. And as someone who doesn't drink coffee, I have no idea what you do to make coffee taste more better or more worse. Or
something I would request out of that series. I love the series idea. Something I would request out of that series is to have someone that knows how to do it afterwards. Because I saw you make that coffee and it seemed completely fine. And then he was like, "Oh, it was like my uneducated young cousin did it." And I was like, "What would the difference be? What made
so I think you're supposed to wet the coffee grounds before pouring everything through. That's one thing.
Sure, but that's what I mean.
Catch anything else.
Have someone that knows it do it afterwards. I don't know. Anyways,
what like in a French press?
I don't know what it was, dude. You're asking me I don't know. It was a mocha. Who knows? I don't.
Oh, mocha pot. That's advanced.
No, that wasn't that. I don't know what it is.
Neither of us have any idea what you're talking about.
I'm trying to come up with fake terms, and my brain is goop. All of that was actual, but I just want.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know French press is real. Yeah. I've heard of that before.
Might as well not.
Good news, by the way, for everyone tuning. Oh, question for Linus and Luke: who would you choose if you could give someone not from work an AMD upgrade? Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I think doing your dad's would be pretty cool. He's actually working on a super cool rig right now.
System. Yeah.
I feel like an AMD upgrade would go a long way towards making that system done at some point.
Yeah, you kind of got there before me, I would be saying the same, because he has his case is like almost finished, but he needs all the components. He doesn't any components. Anyways, that'll be my job.
That sounds like
a job for me.
Problem.
Yep.
Good news for everyone tuning in right now. You can enter AMD's latest giveaway for a chance to win 9800X3D, a motherboard, and some RAM for both yourself and a friend or loved one. Go check out our link in the video description to enter today. Time is running out. All right. Are you ready to just get it over with and tell me you finished Final Fantasy VI? I saw your secret topic.
Final Fantasy VI. I beat Kefka, and it was amazing. I took a bunch of screenshots and I sent them to Riley because I wanted him to put them in the doc, but I didn't want to put them in the doc early so that you didn't get informed. I
saw Luke's secret topic and I knew what it was. Also, the enemy that you were complaining about the other day is in Kefka's tower.
There's other points in the game where that happens.
Yeah, but I knew that you got hit with bad breath in Kefka's tower.
Okay, but there's other points in the game where bad breath happens.
Yes, but I knew you were in Kefka's tower.
This guy. So I took some screeny shotties. Let me see if I can bring them up. They're not in the secret topic, right?
I can't believe I lost this. Do you know how close I am?
No.
I am super close.
I was pretty sure. I was having a conversation with a friend where they were like, "Oh man, you're sick again," and I was like, "Yeah, and it's horrible, but also a blessing," because I would not have been done by today. I finished last night. I would not have been done by today if it wasn't for being sick.
If 100%. I had pulled an all-nighter last night, I could have finished last night too.
I didn't pull an all-nighter.
I am done my color. I need to shoot clear.
Dan, can I send you? Oh, really? So you're like one pass from done?
No, it's multiple coats of clear coat, but like you can go at it pretty quick. Clear coat goes on real fast compared to a lot of the stuff that I've been doing. Like I can probably finish it in one long evening of painting now.
All three of those, yeah, if you wouldn't mind. Where are you going to put? Oh, at the top. Cool. So I will share these. One, this is just a random thing that I noticed. Somewhere that I was in the game, you have to go through all these different sections, collecting these little things to fight this guy. It's like Fog of War, except the mini-map fully works.
Nice.
Hello.
I think that's broken. I don't think there's a mini-map in the original game, so that's it's one of those little enhanced edition things that just like, really, you guys?
Yeah, I was wondering if this was a pixel remaster thing. Yeah, I noticed that and was just like, okay. And then
minimap is hacking.
So another thing that I was going to say is that I didn't do everything that I wanted to do because I let two things kind of defeat me. But I did go very completionist on this. I noticed with Gao, I went to his father's house without him. And then later on, I happened to go there with him, just unplanned. I forgot what it was, and I wanted to check what was there. And he was in my party, and then the whole thing happened. And I was like, oh no. There's a ton of content hidden behind having the right person there at the right time. So then I went around everywhere with trying to bring different people, and I tried to do it somewhat logically. So I didn't technically do every person everywhere, but I went is this person relevant to this area?
Sure.
So I think this one with the mini map, actually, I had to take the painter girl and what is his name? Relm and Strago or whatever his name is.
Yep.
I had to take them to, I think it's Thamasa or something, but that made relevant sense. Like, okay, that was reasonable. So there was a few of them where, and I think I did.
Did you stay in all the inns with Shadow?
Oh, no.
Oh, you get his whole backstory if you stay in every inn with him in your party.
I did some inns with him, but I didn't do all of them. I got a lot of the content though. The two things that are, and there's probably more than this, but the two things that I know of that I didn't end up being able to chase all the way down was the cursed shield and Lord help me, I tried. it says there's the one hint that I was able to find about the curse shield at all. I didn't find any outside of that, was that it requires a long battle. So I tried, like, I got into a fight that I was able to sit in infinitely.
Oh, no. You have to fight 255 battles.
So
the way to hack it is you go to Cells' starting island in the World of Ruin, and you just put a weight on the A button, and then you just leave them walking back and forth on the island all night, and then it'll turn into the Paladin Shield.
Yeah, so I've
never actually done that because that's lame.
That sounds really lame. We had agreed I would follow no guides, so I ended up Googling it after I won because I was so curious.
Nice.
Because again, the topic says something along, or the hint, because my note is the hint, something along the lines of a long battle or something like that. So I tried one that was I think it was at least 10, 15 minutes long. I walked away from the computer. And then came back and then killed it, and it still didn't uncurse itself, so I gave up. And then the other one was an Esper, and I'm confused because it said I got an achievement. I got an achievement for unlocking all of the Espers, but there's a blank spot on my Espers list.
No, you probably got them all then.
I don't know what's up with that. But either way, okay, here is the state I was in when I went into the final battle.
Oh my goodness.
So every character except for Edgar is blinded and silenced, and almost everybody is dead.
Nice.
But so this was my second attempt because I died the first time, which I'm not even ashamed to admit. Because I'm pretty stoked that I somehow scraped by and I have my winning screenshot, which I'll show you in a second, and it's close, but I somehow beat it my second attempt. The first attempt I got raffle stomped, but your characters come in a queue, and this is all of my original 4. So I made it with the first 4 that I attempted to go up with, which was cool. But that's how the game ended.
Absolutely insane.
Unreal.
3 characters at 1 HP.
Wow. That's
unreal.
Incredible.
And I took these screenshots because when I took this first one, I was like, he was talking at this point in time, so it was fine. It doesn't show any dialogue on the screen, but he was talking at this point in time. So I knew I was safe to take the screenshot, but I was like, I want a screenshot that I got here and it was so close, and I expected to attrition through a bunch of units and stuff. But then I realized when I think it was Go-Go died, I was like, oh yeah, somebody will die and then it'll cycle them out, right? It didn't cycle Go-Go out, and the second he died, I was like, oh no. And this is after actually, I think, a fair amount of revives. And then I started realizing that I should use the Phoenix magic, the re-raise or whatever.
Arise, yeah.
Because Kefka brings you all down to 1 HP. And then I was trying to heal everybody up frantically afterwards. And I was like, it's actually easier to just bring them back up afterwards. And oddly enough, the 2 primary carries I had for most of the game ended up doing probably a minority of the damage. And Edgar just jumping repeatedly for so long is what ended up killing them, because the
Dragoon
2 primary characters.
Edgar.
Yeah. I ended up doing Dragoon for Edgar, and I would cycle it on other people, but Edgar was the main one because he seemed to just do so much damage.
Yeah, because he can use pikes.
Yeah. And there's only a couple, I think Mog and maybe one other that can use pikes. Go-Go, I didn't like at first. And then my main character, I can't remember what her name is supposed to be.
Tara.
Tara, my main character, she gets this scroll thing that gives her dual cast. And then it happened by accident. I didn't realize Go-Go would gain the dual cast. So I would cast Ultima twice, which ended up casting Ultima 4 times. And then every fight was just broken. Over. Which was amazing.
But that's one of the fun things about old games, is that you can get these broken builds that just crush the game.
Yeah, because Celis, at first I was building her as a caster, but then I liked the idea that she was like more melee focused, and then my Terra was more magic focused. So she had the, what is it? The, oh man, I can't remember the name. I think it's the Genji glove, which lets you dual
And the
wield.
offering.
And the offering, is it?
Offering lets you hit 4 times.
And then you pair those two together and you hit like 8 times or something. It's crazy.
Yeah. Lock with the Genji glove and the offering is one of the like broken builds.
I liked Mug. It was fun stealing items, but I never really used Lock much. One thing that I realized afterwards was one of the times that I played and then stopped playing for a long time, right when I stopped playing is right when I unlocked Gao. Mm-hmm. So I never really like figured him out, because when I came back, I forgot what I was supposed to do. So he was like worthless on my roster. And then my Googling afterwards was like, okay, apparently he's amazing.
Yeah, he's one of those ones where you have to like really make a serious investment in him, and then he's like completely OP. But I never really liked the random characters, and the fact that I couldn't select what he's going to do on his turn, I've just never gotten into that play style.
Yeah, I was really excited to get the Yeti, and then I realized that he just like does his own thing, and I'd never really used him because of that. Go-Go, I didn't even really like much. I only really started using him once I got that dual cast thing, and I realized how overpowered it was for him to be able to mimic it. But I didn't really like his character until that moment. And I actually didn't really use him much. I only used him here because I knew it was so overpowered.
Right.
And I just wanted the power to kill the boss, but I didn't find it fun.
Yeah. No, I agree. I've always preferred to be able to actually control my characters in a game like this.
And I know one of the reasons why I liked him was because I actually really enjoyed the key inputs, but Sabin was probably my favorite character of the run. And a bunch of people, when I said this a long time ago when we talked about Final Fantasy, a bunch of people told me that he, why didn't you heal before? Not that it matters, but still, what do you mean?
No, he had already won. He had just been slammed, and he was just like, there was one more hit, and then he won.
Yeah, this top screenshot, you just went through like a huge gauntlet. Like there's a reason I got here beat up. And then down here, the game just ended. Yeah. But yeah, people were like, oh, Sabin sucks. Sabin's awesome. And Sabin was awesome the whole way through. And again, I don't know, maybe I just didn't use, because I didn't realize Gao was really good or whatever. So maybe I didn't realize that certain things are really strong. But Sabin was the first character for me to get to capped damage. Right. And then once you get whatever it's called, Razor Gale or whatever, I was having him hit for 3 to 4K per target, multi-target, and hitting capped damage on single target way before anyone else.
Sabin is awesome, but he's not cool to like, basically, is what it comes down to.
Oh.
Because he doesn't cap out as high in the end game as some of the other guys. That's all.
Got it. Well,
Which is just like whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
I don't care. I don't care about that at all. And I enjoy.
And I know you're like a backstory guy as well.
Yeah,
and
Sabin was
his story is cool.
Sick.
Yeah,
I don't know. He was awesome. I really liked it. I also really liked it was kind of refreshing that you get to the end and you have to kill Kefka, and Kefka is just evil.
Oh yeah,
it's very clear.
He's my favorite video game villain for sure. He's just such a jerk. Like
the speech at the end where he's like, why are you even alive if you know it's going to end? And like all this kind of stuff is like, yeah, this guy sucks.
Oh, he's such a craphead.
Which is great, because then you fight him and then it's such a it's a brutal fight. He constantly just flips you to 1 HP. He does that thing where he blinds and silences you. I'm pretty sure he did that as well, I swear. And then he just hits you so hard that he'll just one-shot one of your guys randomly. So you're like trying to keep your team alive, and he's just like, that one's dead. And you have no idea how much HP he has, because the game never tells you, which is so frustrating. So it's like very likely that I had him like one hit from dead for a long time, because I was just trying to keep my team alive when I could have just one-shot him. So it was so tense the whole way. And then I beat it with 3 characters at 3 HP. Ah, man. It was great.
I'm glad you enjoyed the game. I'm really glad you enjoyed the game. I have an update for you as well. I sent it to Dan.
Oh?
You did? No, you probably.
I think I did. Oh, did I not? Oh, hold on. Where the heck is my attachment?
But I'll say this much. I was never that into even the idea of Final Fantasy games. And now I'm like, I'm worried that you gave me the one that I would like the most. So it's just downhill from here. But
Can't wait for you to try 10.
I am more interested in other Final Fantasy games now.
Okay, well, I will get you. Well, hey, there's the War of the Lions.
I'm definitely going to check that out.
It's a very different game.
No, that's
it's
okay.
It's probably a better game.
Oh, cool.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I haven't played any of the. I haven't actually played the War of the Lions version. I've only ever played the PSX, like Final Fantasy Tactics version. Okay, Dan, go ahead and share that. Sorry, the file share didn't go through before.
Oh, could this go in the doc? Oh no, it's just a picture. Yeah, sure. Give me a sec. Boop.
I hated the Final Fantasy combat style before I started playing, and now it's like totally fine.
Ready to see this, Luke?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Zoop.
Ooh, they're starting to look good though.
Circles.
Wheels done.
Oh, that's awesome, actually. It helps having the middle bit be black.
Yeah, that was a lot of work. Because painting a candy coating evenly like this is really hard. We had to find a way to spin the wheel while holding the gun stationary in order to get it like even, and we had to find exactly the right angles to kind of hit it from to get good coverage. We masked it up the other night and did the black. It looks incredible in person. I'm actually pretty excited for when it's done. Someone asked why paint where the tires go. It's not. It's like not done well. Like that'll be covered. Don't worry about that.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm spraying, right? So it's not like with a brush.
Yeah.
The kid across the street asks, couldn't you dip it? I can't. I don't know how I would dip a two-tone like this. I guess you could dip it, like if you painted it, I guess you're asking if I painted it black and then like I dipped one side and then dipped the other side.
That sounds so rife of failure.
But the pink is not a solid color. It's a candy coat. It's translucent. So it had to be painted over white. So this was blasted, primered, white, multiple coats of primer, multiple coats of white, then 2 coats of pink, then 1 coat of pearl, then masked, then 2 coats of black on those parts. Then it will get clear coated for the whole thing. So it's a super multi-part process. And I got as far as not having done the black yet, having done 2 coats pink, 2 coats candy, I think I did that time. And it was a disaster. I had to completely redo it. So both of these have actually been fully stripped twice and redone. It's been an absolute nightmare, this project. I am so done. Anyway, I think like one more big session. Also, I can clear coat just this and the frame, and they can start assembly. And then I can do the rest at my leisure, especially now that I lost the challenge. No! But it's been good because it's kind of motivated me to keep working on it. So, and now I'm close enough that I can just get over the line. I'm hoping to ride this summer.
I'm happy with how I approached the game. I think I got a lot more out of it playing it the way that I did, like no guide and like just experimenting with things and trying things and stuff. But brother, that was a long game.
It is a long game.
Whoa. Like I don't know if I've played almost any game that took me that long to actually get through the story. Like, whoa.
Yeah, and the World of Ruin.
Maybe Morrowind.
The World of Ruin is really not as tight as the World of Balance. So I think I told you that the game was supposed to end at the World of Balance. That's supposed to be the final fight. And then they were like, oh, we have room on the cart. Let's just keep making the game.
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely like, that tower, there was a lot of unnecessary rooms and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
There was also like, there's one room in particular, I could just talk about Final Fantasy forever. There's one room in particular where I just got roasted. I don't remember, I was quick saving fairly often. And it was like one small room, and it's the only place in the entire thing that I ran into this one mob.
Oh, dude, quick saving, such a hack. There was no quick save when I played that game, but sure, okay.
Really? I did. Okay, so
only,
I did
you could only save at
notice-
save points.
I did notice. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh, it was brutal.
I misinterpreted that then because I noticed the save points. So I assumed that there. Oh, interesting. Dang. Yeah, that would have been a lot harder. In mostly just an annoying way.
for sure. 100%.
So the way I thought it worked, and I never really paid attention. The way I thought it worked was that you had to, because there was times where it wouldn't let you quick save, but you didn't always have to normally save at a save point.
Yeah.
So I thought quick save, wouldn't stay if you close the game.
Oh no!
So
no,
I thought
I
thought the save points were still valuable because of that, but I guess they just literally were meaningless. Because I
think it's more that you can use them for sleeping bags and tents.
I didn't know that.
Really? Oh.
I almost never use sleeping bags and tents.
Oh yeah, tents are good.
Oh, I will say another thing that I want to praise it for is that how it teaches you how to be self-sufficient within the game is really interesting. I'm assuming everyone goes through this, where at the start you're dealing with inns and sleeping bags and tents and potions, and the economy's rough. You don't have all that much money, and you're spending it all on potions. And it's like, this sucks. And then you start getting healing spells, and you're like, okay, I can heal, but then I run out of mana, and that's an issue. And then you get whatever it's called, or osmos. And then you can...
Osmos, not Rasp. Rasp damages their MP.
Yeah. So you can now pull mana from monsters. Now you can pull mana and you can heal your team. So if you find a fight that's not that hard, you can bring everything back up and it's very cool. It's a really well thought out game. Anyways.
I think it's time for After Dark.
I think so. But yeah, I would recommend you play it if you haven't. There's probably not that many people that haven't, but I would recommend you play it if you haven't. And I don't know if it's better following with a guide, but I really enjoyed the search. I thought that part was actually very fun and very rewarding. I think one of the problems with enjoying the search is you end up searching in a bunch of games that have nothing. And a lot of my favorite games actually have stuff. Like Morrowind had stuff. If you looked, things were there. And I found in this game, if I looked, stuff was there. And very rewardingly there. Sometimes, and I swear a lot of these were not required. Sometimes I would go find something and it would take me a day. It's there's no way this thing was necessary, but it was awesome. Unlocking... I don't even remember, but unlocking certain people's abilities or getting little things that definitely weren't necessary, but made the game a little easier, whatever, added flavor, added character story. There was so much to it that I had to dig pretty hard for. And there's interesting ways that they arm you to do that, because I used the bestiary to find parts of the game that I had never found. Was the bestiary in the original version?
No.
Okay, well... All right. Either way, because I would look because if you highlighted a question mark thing on the bestiary, it would show you where it was, but it wouldn't show you what it was.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I could look at an area and be like, I haven't been here. How do I get there? There was a few different ways. There was the dots on the map not going big if you hadn't actually found the thing. So realizing that okay, something's there and I can't get there yet. And then also... I
think that's a new creature comfort as well.
So I would not have found anywhere near as much stuff if I didn't have these tools.
And honestly, that's a good thing though, because it was easy to miss a lot of the content in the game in the old version. So there are certain things that are really good.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought the bestiary was awesome.
Okay, Dan, want to hit us with After Dark?
Yeah, sure. I've got some merch messages for you here.
Sure.
Hi, WAN.dll. Linus, noticed almost all the t-shirt designs were taken off the store. Was waiting for a bunch to restock. What's the reason for the purge? Loved the designs, and I'm excited to see more soon.
I think we're kind of refreshing everything. It's been kind of a nightmare between just supplier challenges and tariffs and implementing new colors and our tall blanks, and also just the relatively low volume of our printing partner, which is not a criticism. It just is a thing that is. So doing the same kind of volume of t-shirt designs that we used to do has been a real challenge. It's something that we do have plans to fix, but it's like anything, it's going to take time.
When do you guys think we will ever see a time in gaming where we will try and make sure it works properly versus just dropping it and hoping to fix it later? I really hate the state of most games that's AAA and quadruple A.
I don't see that getting better anytime soon. I mean, now that games as a service is the new meta, I just don't. I don't foresee that being a thing that's going to happen. I think that we just have to kind of wait, invest in games when they are in a state that we believe is finished enough for us to enjoy, and hope that the devs of the games that we love are going to, continue to invest the time to get them to a working state. In fairness to devs, the hardware variants that exist today, or variations that exist today, are much, much broader than they used to be. Optimizing a game is harder than ever. And that shouldn't just be a crutch. That shouldn't just be an excuse for poor quality work, or for a publisher or management forcing something out when everyone knows it's not ready. But it is also a reality.
LTTStore underwear is my favorite. Is it coming back? Love from Australia.
Yes.
Oh, thank goodness. That's a question I've had, actually. Thank you for asking that.
Yeah. Do they come in upside down, though?
I don't know. We have some really cool designs coming up, though. There's this one with like pixel art
Australia
weapons, and one with pixel art like potions and stuff on it, like kind of gamer underwear. I'm pretty stoked.
I'm sorry, Luke. Hi, WAN.dll. I've been watching for about 3 years now, and you have always been my mentor throughout my IT career. Who are your mentors, and what did you learn from them?
Oh, I mean, I've had a lot of mentors, I guess. One of them I hired as our CEO. Taryn taught me a lot. My other boss at NCIX taught me a lot, Jack. Externally, I have been really impressed by people who came before me in tech media, like Chris Perillo. I just thought his professionalism that time that we had him on the WAN show was
big time,
unreal.
Yeah,
very inspiring. I don't know if I describe that as mentorship, because I don't know him super well. Like, we've hung out a few times, but other than that,
but inspiring.
But definitely inspiring, yeah.
Was this question specifically for you?
I don't think so.
I've used Wendell. Just I think a fair way of saying it.
Yeah, he definitely would qualify as a mentor for you.
100%. Yeah, Wendell's been huge for me, actually, because when I started doing Floatplane stuff, I didn't know a lot of people that were like managing software teams or anything, or building software. Not even managing software teams. I knew very few people in that industry at all. And he was extremely helpful, extremely understanding,
generous with his time,
and extremely generous with his time. And still is. I still go to him for stuff now. But especially
also
back
just
then, it was
actually
very
a
helpful.
genius. So
dude,
that.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I very much enjoy just hanging out with him, and then at this point, it's mostly hanging out with him, and then there are tidbits that he'll say something, and I'll be like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna note that down." It's less like direct question and answer, and it's more like osmosis. Just being near him for a while is helpful.
I don't know about mentorship, but I've talked before about taking a lot of inspiration from Noctua's leadership in how they approach product development. Same with Framework. I love that they're staying true to their mission, even though they've taken VC money, and it can be really tempting to just do whatever it takes to make a buck in order to generate a return for your investors.
Yeah.
Investment disclosure. Hit me, Dan.
Hello, Land Duke and Dinus. What is your biggest distraction during the workday getting in the way of getting things done? Also, more Breadsaurus merch, please.
Interruptions.
Too many notifications because of too many incoming communications on too many various communication platforms.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way of putting it. I second that motion.
Ding.
Hit me, Dan.
Ding.
It's a huge issue.
Ding. But it's your phone this time.
Yeah.
What watch is Linus wearing? I noticed it during the Switch 2 unboxing.
I think it's the 2R from OnePlus.
So basic, he doesn't even know.
It's fine, I guess.
I don't know, whatever the new thing from Rolex is, I don't even care at this point.
Oh my God.
I just have a guy buy them for me. People like your watches a lot.
He takes my Maybach down and goes and picks up the new release.
Oh, you're still
my
driving around in a
God.
Maybach? Oh, Luke.
Oh, jeez.
Why do I
my
talk
God.
to you?
I only just found out what a Maybach is. Don't even give me that.
I did. Yeah, I found out like a week ago.
Me too.
Doesn't have the new endangered seal seat covers. Yeah.
So it's not letting me use the menu. I'm trying to navigate to find out what model it is.
Not a very glowing
But it's
review,
not on
though.
my wrist and it keeps locking. Sorry, one sec. Yeah, I think it's the 2R. Honestly, I just use it as pretty much just a watch these days. I've just found that it's so tedious to interact with my wrist compared to just pulling my phone out that I can't get that into it.
That's all I got.
That's all you got? Okay,
All right.
cool. Well, maybe I actually get to eat a meal for the first time today.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
even bother at this point.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, it's the 2R. It's the 2R. No, you should eat. Oh, hey, I'm getting braces.
Oh, nice.
Okay, and that's the end of the show. We'll see you again next week,
are
same
you
bad
getting
time.
Invisalign or the metal ones?
I am okay. Those were options. Cool options, good options, solid options.
Third option?
But I couldn't resist
there a
the
bougier
3D
one?
printed option.
Oh.
So there's this like new one where they 3D print the brackets specifically for your teeth, so that they don't have to like remove them and like replace them. I just wanted to try them.
Huh.
That sounds cool. Let me know what that is. I want to try that too.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, they look
What does
like
it look like?
they look like train tracks, but a little more clear, I guess. And maybe I'll regret it because Invisalign is a lot less noticeable. But I don't know.
Dude, you got to get frosted tips and
No,
a
it's
Caesar
actually
cut
more-
and train
It's
tracks.
actually more expensive than Invisalign, but I just
get diamonds
by like
in them.
by like a couple $100 or something, not by like a huge amount given the total outlay. But I was just like, how can I resist the 3D printed brackets?
You got to get a Hot Topic shirt, Jenko jeans,
Oh my
frosted
God.
tips, Caesar cut.
Did I ever
Train
tell you we
tracks.
accidentally made like Jenko cut LTT cargo pants once?
Oh, they probably would
Didn't
have
you show
sold.
those off?
They probably would have sold like crazy.
I'll wear them. I'll wear them for you when I
Let's
get my braces.
go.
Okay.
I
All
love
right.
it.
See you again next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Bye!
And for offsite audio is to just bring a wave.
What's up?